All right, here we go. Okay. Is it a hump or a drop? What do you say? You got to twist your words in every which way, because the motto will always dictate what you do. Everybody knows that you've got the model affliction blues. Is it a straight line or does it curve? Some people unclamp it, but that is absurd. We all know that the model will always dictate what you do. Everybody knows that you are model afflicted blue. Model affliction. It's your addiction. That model affliction. It brings you so much pain. It's your ball and chain. Conflating curvature with elevation change has got your local distance just out of range. That old biggie is gonna dictate everything that you do. And everybody knows that you got the model affliction blues. It's your decision defending the model position. You just don't know the geometric proposition. That old ball, it'll always be illogical to you. That's why perpendicularity is a puzzle to you. Model affliction. It's your addiction. Model affliction. It brings you so much pain. It's your ball and chain.
World famous Buster. And we are live. Welcome everyone. It is a Model Affliction Monday, and we are going to be going over Modus Tollens again. We tend to do that. Logic's sort of our thing, and discussing arguments. I think what we've been doing over the last few years is just trying to sharpen people's arguments within this weird arena that likes to call itself debate. There's a lot of people that like to title themselves about debate, but like we say, there's never actually been any debate ongoing in any of this sort of stuff. And we do go out and have conversations with people, and I do like to sit there and listen to other people and see how well the conversations go. But you have to get involved every now and again because.
Can I ask
So go on. Yeah.
I'm sorry. I was just going to ask. I was just going to say, can I ask a question? And see if it might be rhetorical, but maybe some folks in here might have a thought. Like you said, you're going to go over this thing. We're going to talk about Modus Tollens, and it is Model Affliction Monday. So you think a model affliction can overcome a solid logical argument? Is that possible?
No, yeah. It depends on the model, doesn't it? Like the model just isn't necessarily a model. It's like the thing that governs, I consider the model as something that governs your thought process, right? You've built a model of something within your mind. You've constructed it through whatever knowledge you have. So, I mean, if it's a faulty model, then it's going to lead you into problems, isn't it? It's all about correcting the model.
The argument might not sit well with you in your mind. Maybe if you have a model affliction, severe model affliction.
Yeah, and there's a lot of aggression, and if you ever feel yourself getting angry at somebody saying something, it's more often than not that something up with your understanding. I think, I don't know, it's hard to tell, isn't it? Because you listen to a lot of people and they do get angry, they shout and they rage about stuff. But I mean, as far as I'm concerned, if you've got your own argument sorted, there's not really much need for aggression or anything.
Right.
It's easy to come to this, well, we obviously disagree. Nobody has to be convincing anybody of their particular model, because once you know how you've built up your knowledge, you can't expect anybody else to just grasp that without going through the same processes that you have. I mean, some people might be able to do that, but I mean that, you've only got your own experiences to get from this. I mean, that's where we were at this morning, right? We've obviously gone through journeys and discussions to lead us to the position that we're in at the minute, and other people haven't gone through those same sort of things. And whether that's just because they haven't been asked the questions that we ask each other to clarify sort of certain things, to reason whatever. I don't know. This is all a journey of discussion and conversation, as far as I can see. And yeah, there's not going to be many people that want to go along this, but I mean, I think we've sorted ourselves as a bit of a niche market, and certain people will be able to get involved with it and certain people won't. I mean, it's pretty simple. I've heard that there's a group of boomers going around that are like, they're obsessed with us. They're making 3-hour streams about us, clipping bits, going over videos that we've done. Well, I mean, we go over stuff that we have a conversation with, and I think we had a conversation, we went over a video from a year ago about a guy that thought triangles have more than 180 degrees. It's crazy. We'll get around to that at some point, though. I mean, I think for Model Affliction Monday, this is a better model, a better example of how a certain argument can lead you in different ways, and the interconnective thing between a couple of models that people with a false dichotomy get. Now this is, I've got 1 hour and 43 in this video, so obviously it's going to take quite a while for us to go over it, and most of the time it'll be me talking anyway, and Air Bear as well. I think there's a bit of Emma, star performance. We do go over the mind your P's and Q's of the initial statement, which was said by Emma to QE about a t-shirt when he started his QE channel, the Terminator thing. He's got a website and everything. So this was a t-shirt, right? Okay, so you guys can see that, can you? Let me just check these screens here. Let's get this.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Right, I'm gonna have to just expand that just a little bit. Right now, obviously, this is over in the politics server, so one of the guest rooms over in the politics server. Might be able to guess which one. But I think there's some old sort of stuff going on within this arena. Now, I do have a series of these videos, conversations with the model afflicted, that I haven't actually put them all out yet. Now, this one is probably the most recent. Well, it is the most recent. So I've not actually released this video out as a video yet. I mean, I should have put them out as members stuff, shouldn't I? I'll do that at some point tomorrow, hopefully. I'll put them all out and then we'll release them to the public on, certain days. So you guys on Discord are in there, are you? It goes straight into it, this, so... Okay, if anybody wants to pop in, let us know. I think I've left a little bit of the build-up, so it gives you an idea when we drop in, but we'd also been in there for a little bit longer listening to this, but I think this is the most relevant stuff, so I'll play this.
That's why we are
Do you
clear.
want to
That's
go
why
into this
Earth
with me?
is
Because
flat.
I will
can
show you
convince me-
measurable curvature.
If you show me measurable curvature, I will never ever believe that Earth is flat.
Okay. So let's go on this and let's follow this photo train. Right?
Right, so also, some of the voices here may sound familiar, but we said there's a bit of a voice changer in there. Pretty sure we know the Norwegian sounding guy, but I don't know where from or who it was.
Or train of thought.
Okay.
So do you think math is coherent? Yes or no?
Do I think, Matt?
Do you think 2 + 2 = 4?
Yeah.
You trust that to be 100% true all
Yeah.
the time, right? If I show you
Yeah.
an equation of 2 + 2 = 4, that's correct. Okay.
Yes, he said yes.
It's important. It's important that I get a coherent yes, right?
Okay.
So now I'm going to show
Do you
you. I'm going to
think now
pose
my
some
question
insight.
is
Yes.
my question is this the same question? Do you think if the radius of the Earth is 3,959 miles, that every observable geometrical horizon with 1 foot observation will be on 1.22 miles? Do you agree with that?
Astrophysics is science.
You asked me if I'm agreed that 2 and 2 are 4. Yes, I said yes. Now, do you agree that radius 3,959 miles, geometrical horizon with 1 foot observer height will be 1.22 miles? Do you agree with that?
Yes, but there are variables to that equation, right?
There is no variables. That is the math you said.
Yes, it's going to be true in reality, but for
What is
example,
the variables in 2 + 2?
Okay, so I'm gonna give you an example of this. If you look out into the horizon at an ocean, you might
Yeah.
see things slightly elevated. For example, there's a lake in America. I forgot the name of the lake. You can look across it, and there's a building. Now, I've seen this
Yeah.
used in flat Earth experiments, right? They look at the building and they're like, okay, I can see one
Yeah.
more window of this building than I should be able to. That
Okay.
means that 1 mile or 8 inches per mile must be wrong because I can see slightly more of this building.
It is wrong. Is it wrong?
Right? But when you calculate it using the variable, which is called reflection, I think it's called in English at least, you actually get
You are
the
not-
correct
you-
measurements.
You don't know what I'm talking about.
I do. Anyways, I'm going to pose something, and I want you to
You know
respond
everything
to it.
about you know everything about refraction.
So I'm going to pose something, and I want you to respond to it.
You posted some kind of cartoon.
No, it's a reference point. It's so
What
you
is
know
that
what
in
I'm
the-
referencing.
What is that in the middle?
What do you mean? It's a reference
What-
point. Reference point. So right.
What-
So you know
Reference point of what?
the numbers are referencing.
What is the
or what I'm
reference point?
deriving.
What is that in the middle?
I mean, it's a like, what do you mean?
Is it that point in the middle of the sphere?
Right. I'm pausing it. Can you see that? Is that a sphere? Because to me, that isn't a sphere. That's just a circle. It's been coloured fancy. Right?
Yeah, and the point he talks about is I can't see the landmass, but it looks like it might be like pretty close to where I am. It looks like it might be might be Mexico, could be Texas, I think.
Yeah. It's weird,
right?
that, isn't it? Yeah, putting like,
yeah. So the reference point is like, is it my house?
Center, don't
I hope
you?
it's. Yeah. I hope the reference point's not my house.
Yeah, that would be cool.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, doxing yourself there, Kev.
Yeah, that's all right.
But like I see, matter. You're associating that with a piece of land. I'm not. That's just a fancy coloured circle to me. He's like,
I mean, it could be.
He's got a circle and he's coloured it in.
Yeah, it could be, right? But whatever it is, right? The colored in circle, the reference point is at the point center. Where the colored circle is a little bit more beige or tan or brown than it is blue or white, right? I mean, certainly he's not saying that's the center of a ball.
Well, yeah, I mean, the other guy said sphere, and I think I'm about to come in and say it's a circle. Like, it's not it's not a sphere, obviously, because if that was a sphere, it wouldn't be in the center. It'd just be two sort of toothpick tangent lines or something.
Yes.
Whereas you might see a sphere, I just see a fancy coloured circle.
But it is interesting programming, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
By the model afflicted. Both sides here, because...
Yeah, that other guy said sphere, right? And it's...
Yeah, the other guy said sphere.
So he's worked into this sort of understanding that if you colour a circle in a certain way, other people think it's a sphere.
Yep.
And he's even got radiuses on it and everything. It is amazing when people do that.
It is amazing.
Yeah. Yes.
How do you know that we have middle of the sphere?
It's not a sphere. That's just a circle.
Yeah, it's a circle on the picture, but
Yeah, but I'm going to explain how we can use this to prove that it's a sphere, for example.
Can you tell me?
See, now he's going to use a circle, how we can prove the Earth's a sphere. I mean, that's pretty good. But let him go. Let's see how well.
How you know that there is the center?
Yes, I will tell you that if you let me explain it, right?
Because it's a circle. It's definitely a center in the circle. Circles have centers.
If I tell you I have a Porsche, I don't need to explain you how I can have Porsche. I will show you Porsche.
Yes, and I'm going to show you math to prove my
can
point.
You, show me
you said you trusted math.
Can you show me the center of the
No, you're not.
That's stupid, though. Because if he says he has a Porsche, he's not going to show you math to prove he has a Porsche. He'll show you the Porsche. So.
Yeah, well, sometimes your naked eye might not be able to perceive certain things. For example, if I look outside right now, there's a hilly backyard, right? I don't
have very long, so can I butt in here for a second?
Yeah.
It's just, now we've listened to it for probably another minute and a half since you chimed in.
Yep.
No one wanted to take on what you said. They completely ignored you.
Yep.
So either you were muted, which I don't know, maybe you were, or, so if you weren't, then they completely ignored your point. Completely ignored it to the point where the other guy, not the guy with the clear voice changer, but the other guy was actually vying for the sphere. And I don't think, maybe we'll get to this, but it sounds like at least at the beginning, he was not the sphere guy, seemed to me. Maybe he's still not the sphere guy, but here he is saying sphere, 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 even when you butted in and said, looks like a circle to me.
He's saying
Circles
it to
always
the other
have
guy.
center.
He's completely if you want to call it a trap, then yeah, they're all within it.
Or same team. I mean, setting up a nice straw man to be burned in effigy.
Yeah, I think you quite like this one, Kev, because I don't know whether you're going to be here to see how this develops from one side to the other with a complete shift of people and everything. It's brilliant the way this one plays out. Hopefully we can get to the other part before you
curvature around some hills.
My eyes perceiving 10 miles like your eyes. My eyes perceiving like your eyes. That means 10 miles, we see the same. We see the water on 10 miles.
But you can't preserve it. So do you know what scale is?
Do you know what water is? Real ocean.
You know what scale is? If something is very, very large, it's going to be perceived differently.
They do this a lot. Do you know what scale is? And then when something's very, very large, I mean, what? It's just big. But I don't know whether they actually understand what scale is. It being a ratio.
If you see the ocean, do you see the ocean or you think that you see the ocean? If you see the ocean, this is my question. You want to speak about scale. I want to speak about reality. If you see the ocean in the distance, do you see the real ocean in the distance, or you see something what is happening to it's doing to making that looks like an ocean?
It's not really there, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he's just telling you he can't show you the globe, so.
Yeah, unless I could take you to space, which I cannot do because I do not own a spaceship.
Yes,
I mean
the next best thing I can do is show you consistency on a globe Earth. So the reason I showed you,
like on Bolivian Salt Lake, 4,000 miles square, changing elevation 1 meter. How is that matching with the sphere?
Okay, so this is the second point I'm going to give to you. So we have something called the gravitational constant. It's 6 points, a lot of numbers.
No, we don't.
The gravitational constant.
I don't have that. Maybe you have that. I don't have that.
Yeah, because the gravitational constant is.
Did he just say maybe you have that, but I don't have that?
Yep.
We all live in reality, don't we? We all live, and we may not live in the same place or the same country or whatever, but we do all live in reality, yeah? How can one person have something and the other person not have something related to the place that they live?
It's within the mind, isn't it? Like these models.
Psychologically, this is nuts. This is crazy. You may have it, but I don't have it.
What you have to remember is that they're dealing within a sort of paracosm. All of their arguments are centered within this paracosm, and you can't really leave it. And you may be thinking of this from an outside perspective looking in, and it seems mad, doesn't it? But they're so within the argument, they can't seem to see this outside position that seemingly, I think a lot of people, whenever they come and listen to this, that's where they're coming from. It's hard to understand what the conversation is, even. And it starts off with the globe guy coming in telling her about his fantasy, if you will. But then the flat earthers have been so used to playing the game that they sort of develop the same sort of argument, and it just goes on and on.
Gravitational constant changing the surface of the air.
And we can test it on Earth.
Does gravitational constant changing the surface of the air?
What did you say?
Does gravitational constant changing the surface of the air?
Does a constant change? No, it doesn't. If something is constant, that means
it is not. It's like a. Sorry, because
it's
of my.
consistent throughout calculations.
It's consistent, but doesn't change the surface. Doesn't matter, but it could be changed. It could be consistent for you, but doesn't change the surface. You know, that surface in Bolivia is always the same.
If you take, you take the circumference of the Earth, you divide by pi.
What's circumference? What circumference? What circumference?
Would you agree? Okay, so T-Dub, would you agree that you can travel around
so Bev pointed this out in the side chat, right? That you're trying to use globe to prove globe. You're not going to do that here. Sorry.
I can show consistency. It's more than you can do. You don't make any claims, right? Because you don't know what the Earth really is. You just say it's flat, you know, as a baseline, but you don't actually make any claims.
I'm just going outside and experiencing no globe.
We are making claims. We have a sea level.
But you don't have any model because you can't reasonably make
a model.
that
we
makes
have
sense.
a model.
Okay, could you show me the model? Show me.
Okay, I will show you the model. Atlantic Ocean.
Model for what?
Atlantic Ocean.
Or the shape of the Earth. How everything functions simultaneously. For example, could you show me a model showing day and night cycles?
Why am I burdened with showing that? Why am I burdened with that proof?
You're not burdened with it, but I don't really have much to work with. I can prove my model. I can show consistency within my model. Therefore, I believe in the model. You don't have a model, or if you have a model, it's going to be inconsistent. You can't show a coherent model with predictability.
Right. We've got horizontal horizon and we've got sea level. How's that working out on the globe?
I want a model. This guy
how's the horizontal horizon and the sea level working out for you on the globe?
I want a model.
Yes.
We want a model also. Do you have a model?
You want a model?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Our model's called Reality, mate. Yeah, and we've got a horizontal horizon and a sea level. That's our model, Reality model.
Is it your model presentation of reality?
I would be inclined to believe so based on its predictive power and consistency.
No, man, you cannot believe in that. You must to know if I have a model of my Porsche, I need to show you my Porsche first, and then I will make a model of Porsche. You understand that?
This is what I would advise you to do, right? So since you will not believe any experimental evidence, any math, you will not believe math, you will not believe experiments done to show that
what was your first observation of the model, of your model?
Start a small business, start investing in real estate until you're rich enough to afford a ticket to go to space.
Hello, the globe model. What was your first observation of the globe model to get it started?
What did you say?
What was your first observation of the globe model to get the model started in the first instance?
I mean, it probably originated in Pythagorean, whatever the fuck it's called in English.
First observation of the globe model to get the globe model started. What was the first instance?
Oh yeah, of course. So we know travel exists, right? You can travel around the Earth, correct?
What was the first observation? Was the question? To get the globe model started.
Observation didn't start the globe model, did it? People didn't go, oh, look at this. Therefore, the Earth is flat, or is a globe. People did actual research into it to prove it's a globe. People believed the Earth was flat for the longest time because there's no way you can just look with your naked eye and realize the Earth is a globe. That's why every past society was like, oh, the Earth is flat.
There must have been something that somebody observed or experienced in reality that gave them the idea that what they're observing and experiencing isn't what they observed and experienced. So what was that? That's what you're being asked.
Yeah, but
that's what you're being asked.
Yeah, I tried to explain it.
You said no. There was none. There was no observation.
Because he asked specifically for a visual thing. He said, what did you look at to make the global start? I said, we can look at, for example, travel times. He said, no. What did you look at? We can't look at something with our naked eye to prove that the Earth is spherical. And I have an example where you can do this, but you will just say that it's fake. If you go to the northern hemisphere, look up into the night sky, the stars will rotate clockwise.
So you're looking at something.
Yes, but it's not on the Earth itself.
Clockwise, that's not true, man. What are you saying?
If you get it's actually counterclockwise on the northern
hemisphere.
In
the globe, in the globe model, the stars are rotating, correct?
I mean, they appear to be rotating. Well, in reality, it's the Earth that's rotating.
Be careful what you say, mate, in this room.
Did I clarify it for you? Do you understand what I said? What I meant? For fuck's sake, bro. There's no consistency. There's no arguments.
So stars appear to move, therefore Earth is globe.
No, that's not. That's not the reason I think the Earth is spherical. That's the since you wanted a visual representation or demonstration. It's the one I can give you. I wouldn't use that as an argument, but you don't understand complex argumentation.
Oh, you don't.
You can't even give a coherent argument. Premise, conclusion. You can't do that because you don't claim anything.
Can you teach us how to understand?
You don't understand how we prove that the Earth is spherical.
Can you teach us how to understand?
You don't understand.
How to understand? Can you teach us?
Show me your model first. You claimed you had a model. Show it to me.
Can you teach me how to understand that I can live this life because I'm stupid, please?
I tried to. I showed you my math. I wanted to explain how it correlates to gravitational constant.
No, you didn't show me your math. You said that I don't understand. I'm hoping that I understand, but you are still going and saying you don't understand.
What does the D
I don't
stand
understand
for?
that 10 miles, what is 10 miles? It's there, and I see 10 miles, and it's there.
Listen, in my equation,
your equation,
what does the D stand for? What does the D stand for?
For your geometrical horizon, for your radius, for your double radius, D.
What does my D stand for?
2R.
Is it distance?
I mean, I'm asking this guy, despite everything, what does D stand for?
D, it's 2R.
What does A stand for?
What?
In my equation I sent you, what does A represent? I'll give you the easiest one. What does the R
Do you have an
represent?
argument or just the equations, dude? Because this is
I'm showing he doesn't understand. Like I can argue for my case, but he won't understand that.
What R presents in your equation?
Drop the bus link in there. Look.
Yeah, what does the R in my equation that I sent earlier in the side chat represent?
Yeah, your R is starting from the center of the circle.
I was thinking about that when you said you don't understand. I was writing the lyrics in this chat.
That means that you put something in the middle that nobody ever discovered that we have a middle.
What does the R stand for? I'm going to ask it one more time.
He's begging the question fallacy, mate. That's what it is.
No, I'm trying to show him he doesn't understand my
You're begging the question of the globe, mate. You're begging the question. That's what you're presenting.
Man, you made the radius from the center of the Earth. I can see your drawing. I know what is drawing. You made the R from the circle. That's great. You can do that on paper. That's great. You can do that on every paper. Now, can you do that from the Earth to dig 3,950 miles and say this is the middle and this is okay? Can you do that?
No, but what we can do is go around the Earth by traveling around the Earth.
Go around the Earth. Who did that?
I mean, do you want okay, I'll give you some examples. You can book a cruise that goes. Yeah, we'll give you examples. 1 second. By the way, you don't even need to go. For example, wherever you live, you don't need to go around the Earth. You can check out the globe model. Then you can travel from one place to another and approximate how long that will take. See if it's accurate. If it's accurate,
and because of that, water is curving in reality because of that math.
I mean, not only because of that math, but it's the thing is, right? What I'm trying to show you is that it's consistent.
I'm trying to show you the reality.
It has predictability.
But what are you saying about reality?
What I'm saying is everything I'm explaining to you is coherent and consistent. If I show you one thing, right?
When you speak, it is. When you say it. When you're speaking, when you're saying it's curving, it's all right.
Do you want the explanation? You're going to interrupt me just constantly. I'm not trying to explain to you what I'm trying to say.
Man, you don't need to explain to me. You need to show to me.
You asked me. Like, what do you mean?
What do you want to explain to me?
What I'm trying to say.
Explain to me why water, it's flat and it's curving in the same time.
Right. So if you take something to scale, the Earth is very, very, very large compared to you.
The Earth is very, very large, with 3,959 miles, and the geometrical horizon with 1 foot observer height It's 1.22 miles. That's how big Earth is. Are you agree with me?
Like, what are you on about?
Are
Like, you asked me to explain something, and you
Earth is
interrupted
so
me.
big and large.
It's a waste of time.
Are you agree with me that Earth is so big and large that with 1 foot observer height, geometrical horizon on that big large Earth with radius, what you draw, it's 1.22 miles. Are you agree with me?
I mean, probably, yes.
Verbally. Okay, verbally I also agree. And I want to check that now in reality. I check that. No, the horizon is on 10 miles.
Could you show me an example of that, actually? Could you show me one example?
Okay.
Sorry, because this far you haven't really made claims, right? You made statements without
I will show you
anything for them.
example.
So if you show me an example, I can debunk it coherently.
Okay.
Instead of you sitting here and telling me stuff.
Hey, what shape is your girlfriend?
Pretty round. In the places that matter.
She's spheroid.
False. He doesn't have a girlfriend.
Okay.
It's all cap.
That's very based.
You can debunk now.
Here we go.
I can't believe people actually discuss this shit.
He's just posted the argument again.
I posted. Can you debunk it?
Yeah, sure.
Come on,
Can
debunk.
you debunk it?
Matt, question. How much 1.22 miles and 10 miles, how much percentually that's off?
Again with this fallacious shit.
If something is claimed to be on 1.22 miles and if it's on 10 miles, how much off is that percentually?
The P's don't match, dude.
2%? Is it 2%?
P's at the end don't match, dude. Come on.
Or 3%? Is it 3%? Or is it 900%? Can you debunk reality, please?
Are you talking to
You
me?
straighten out that Modus Tollens, man.
Make all flat earthers look ridiculous when you do that, you know.
I disagree.
I think it's about time QE got pulled up about that.
No, he doesn't need, because it's locked in. That number is locked in. If it is not that number, it is no other number.
No, I'm talking to the guy that posted the fallacious Modus Tollens that QE.
I know what you're talking about.
Come on, man, you're boring with that fallacious model. You are boring with that. We know what is the claim. Claim is geometry. If you don't understand that, go and read books about philosophy, okay?
Right, so I'm going to have to nip off for a bit, so I'm going to have to leave this running. But just before this actually starts, the guy did post that picture and say, now debunk it. And whenever you do debunk it as a fallacious argument, I mean, I'm going to take it on for a little bit further than that, just shortly. But he did ask for people to debunk this argument. And we've been debunking it for, well, years. And it still gets posted by the same people. That's why I think it needs to be pointed out, this thing. I'm just going to have to nip away for a bit. So I'll leave this playing. You guys in here will be all right. They can still hear you, so it's still open. But, okay, I'll be away for a bit.
Yeah.
It's wrote on the actual thing there that you've got.
Can I start? If Earth is a sphere with a radius 915 miles, it's starting like that, and it's finished, it is not a sphere. Add only this with the radius of 959 miles.
Fallacious and for that reason.
Only for that bullshit, you know, that you can add only
it in. You should add it in to make sure that nobody else misunderstands, and it makes it look like you. I don't know.
these kind of discussions are stupid on the end, because let's discuss that this is not flat Earth, because we are not thinking that Earth is flat. We are thinking that water is flat. That means let's not use the flat Earth anymore. Let's discuss about that 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hours. No, we know what
flat Earth. That's you posting a fallacious, obviously fallacious.
Are you flat earther? Are you flat earther?
No.
No. Is it Earth? When people say flat Earth, how can flat Earth be flat? Because Earth is Earth. Earth is
flat.
Earth.
Yeah, obviously.
Of course. Let's discuss about that now. 5 hours. How we are using wrong.
You don't need to discuss it. It's pretty obvious. Everyone can see that it's not flat.
Yeah, okay.
Right, and everyone can see that that's a fallacious argument that you've just posted.
Okay, what is the point of this server? What we pointing out? Are we pointing out the semantics of the words, or we are pointing out some kind of geometry?
I'm pointing out at the minute that you're posting a fallacious argument because QE handed it to you. That's putting QE as a shadow giant, and you just replicating it.
I add to you. I added to you that it's sphere with the radius of 359. And now what?
Picture. You're the one that posted that picture.
It doesn't matter. And now I'm saying. And then what?
Well, as long as everybody knows that you're posting a fallacious argument.
Tell me now what? Okay,
was
great.
Evidence. Now you said to the guy, debunk it.
Bev, I put it now correctly. Tell me now, then what now?
What have you done it? No, still not there. So I can't see it.
Oh my
God,
I'm telling you now. Are you listening to me? It's not on the picture. I'm telling you now.
You said, debunk it. So yeah, debunk.
Are you
it's a fallacious
listening
argument.
To me? Okay, let's put it like this. This article up of that picture is fallacious. This article, because it's missing radius 3959 on the end. Okay, I'm putting now that
the
radius
argument. It's an argument.
Are you listening to me now? I'm conceding it's fallacious, that article. Now I'm correcting.
It's not an article. It's an argument. It's a modus tollens. It's fallacious.
I'm correcting myself now. I'm adding that. Are you listening?
Brilliant.
That means it should be add.
Let's see it.
Radius.
Let's see it just to check. Because you posted it the other day.
Okay, listen. Don't look what that you will watch the picture. Don't look the article. I will tell you the article. If Earth is a globe sphere with the radius of 959 miles, then every horizontal distance measurement must be no more than 1.22 miles square per square knot of observer height. Sorry, because of English. In a feed.
So do you remember earlier when I said you take
horizon
a video?
Horizon distance is greater than 1.22 miles. Therefore, not P. Earth is not a sphere with the radius of 959 miles. Is that all right?
So you forgot to take refraction into account, as I said earlier.
No, he didn't.
Bev,
no, he didn't. No, he didn't.
He did.
Bev, is it okay now?
No, he
is
didn't.
The argument okay, or
is it okay now? I read it.
The argument sounds good. Yeah. That sounds much better.
Okay.
Now, can you correct the one that QE gave you 5 years ago?
My question is now, why the horizon is 1000% off?
I don't know. How do you know? Have you measured
it? How do I know? Because what?
What did you measure?
What did I measure?
Yeah.
The distance to the horizon.
You measured the distance to the horizon. Well done. How do you do that?
How I do that?
Yeah.
It's not 1.22 miles.
What do you mean? No. What distance was it when you measured
it's more than 10. It was more than 9 miles.
Mm-hmm. Distance measurement. You measured that? Did you?
It was more than 9. It was more than 9 miles.
Did you do that in a 2D image? Did you measure the distance within a 2D image?
Who did that? You know who did that? The people who built the oil rig did that.
What?
The people who has the Google and have the distances. Okay. The people who driving the captains of ferries. You know, ferry when going to the land from to another land to crossing the. They know the distance, you know.
Okay, so the measurement is the black swan, is it?
Should I go to Santa Barbara to measure distance that we all confirm, and then you need
the
to
argument
measure
the black swan, or the picture the black swan, or the
Is
measurement
it
the
oil
black
rig
swan?
9 miles?
Which one are you going to
Is
go
it oil
with?
rig?
Three options.
Is it oil rig 9 miles? Is it oil rig 9 miles
I don't know.
from
It's
the
in a
beach?
picture. It's just a picture, isn't it?
Is it oil rig 9 miles from the beach?
I don't know. It's just a picture. I've never measured it.
You
You
don't
said
know.
you have.
Does people
What did you
building
measure
something
it as?
Does people building something like a oil rigs in the middle of the ocean without knowing distance to the beach?
I don't know. You measured it to verify it, right?
Does people building something in the middle of the ocean without knowing the distance to the beach?
I don't know. You verified it though, right? So what was the measurement? How did you perform this measurement?
Do you build something in the middle of the nowhere?
Shadow giant measurements. I see. You get your argument from shadow giants. You get your measurements from shadow giants.
You are saying
you don't need
that,
to do anything yourself. You just keep posting a fallacious argument.
Oh, that means I need to go to Santa Barbara, take a rope, and measure because that distance is not real.
Well, what's the black swan? Is the black swan the measurement?
Is it that distance real? Is it that 9 miles? Or we should to measure that one by one, each of us?
Yeah, distance to horizon measurement.
I'm asking you, is it that distance to the oil rig 9 miles? Or we need to measure it all, each one? I mean, you, me, and everyone.
I don't know. Is the black swan the measurement?
Is it oil rig the 9 miles
the
distance?
picture?
I'm asking you.
Is
it oil rig 9 miles? Is it oil rig 9 miles?
Is it oil rig 9 miles? Is that oil rig, man? I don't know. But you're taking it that somebody's wrote some words on it. It says on the picture, doesn't it?
Is it oil rig on 100 miles?
Is the picture the black swan?
Is it?
Or is the distance the black swan?
Yes, it is. So what?
Which one? The distance to the horizon measurement?
Yes, it is. So what?
That's the black swan.
Yeah. The black swan is this 10 miles flat surface. That's black swan. I see the water behind the oil rig. That's my claim.
Okay, so it should really be
okay.
about you seeing something behind the distance.
How you can see it,
didn't it?
How you can see the water behind the oil rig if Earth is spherical?
Hey, it's got nothing to do with that. It's got all to do with the argument.
I'm asking you, argument is that geometrical horizon should be a 1.22 miles. Why is not there?
Yeah, but the distance measurement to the horizon.
Why geometrical horizon is not there? Yeah. Why you don't see that? Why you don't have obstruction?
In the picture.
Why we don't have obstruction on black swan?
See, pictures or images are just lower than trust.
That picture made
the
from
divided
video.
line, it puts it right at the bottom.
Made from
sort
video.
of equivalent
that
to imagination.
That picture is from video.
Okay. All right. So it's a video. It's a 2D image.
Oh, it's a video.
Yeah.
Did you know that?
Can you measure? Can you use the videos to measure distances to horizons?
Jesus Christ.
Can you? Are videos distance measurement tools?
Does black swan has something on the picture? Only water or has something on the picture?
Is it a picture now or a video? Make your mind up. It's an image, really, isn't it? We'll go with an image.
With me. Right,
I told you. Can we stick to the argument?
Bev, don't play with me with the words. Yeah. It's a picture made from video.
Okay.
Do you understand that?
Yeah, this is all right.
Should we go? Is it
so
was used
your
Nikon
response
or Kodak?
to Modus Tollens' argument is a picture that somebody else gave
It was not Kodak. It was digital photography. It was not manually. It was automatic. The zoom was that.
Okay.
What are you talking about?
Well, it gets called the black swan, right? So is the black swan the measurement, or is the black swan the picture? Because the argument is a Modus Tollens that we're meant to be discussing.
For you, black swan is philosophy.
What?
For you, black swan is philosophy.
No, the black swan is the outlier that proves the
I told you, it's philosophy.
Of a Modus opponents.
Yeah,
so this is
a
rebuttal to a statement. Right
yeah,
now,
it's a philosophy.
Is that statement asking for a picture or a distance measurement?
How I can measure the radius?
What?
How I can confirm? How I can confirm? How I can confirm the size? How I can confirm the size?
This says that you can measure a distance to a horizon if the Earth is a sphere of a radius.
I'm asking you how I can confirm.
I'm asking
which
you
method
how do you manage to do that?
How I can confirm the size? How I can check the size?
It says here,
how?
Right in this.
What is the method? What I can use that I can confirm the size?
All right, calm down. Right in the Modus Tollens, it states if the Earth has a radius, right, then the consequent of that is that you can measure a distance to a horizon. I was asking you, how did you manage to measure the distance to the horizon?
I'm asking you.
Doesn't matter.
I'm asking you. It's written in every book. I'm asking you how they write in all books that it's 1.22 miles.
Well, I don't know. I'm saying in this argument that QE's given you.
How they measure? How they measure that?
QE that gave it to you.
Now I'm asking you how they measure
that. I know Nathan Oakley said it.
But Kev, you're not answering how they measure that it's 1.22. If I cannot measure that it's on 10.
Sounds like Rayleigh criterion to me. The diminishing of light in the distance.
Still not answering, man. I don't know how to measure it. Look, I will concede.
It's how far. What you do is, you imagine yourself for a minute. Wait a minute. Let me finish. You imagine yourself, your eye line as a square, and then in the distance, when that square disappears from view because it's decreased, so your eye can't view
anything.
it. That is 1.225. Right, that's the rate. Oh, sorry, 1.22. That's the Rayleigh criterion. That's what happens when stuff disappears in the distance. That's how it works. They're the numbers they use. Now, it states in this argument, as a consequence of the Earth having a radius, that you can measure a distance to a horizon. That's what you're rebutting, isn't it? Within the argument, with a picture that you were given by a shadow giant.
Bev, you have your globe believers, globe making channels telling you and explaining how horizon works. And it's telling you with the video, if you put your eyes 8 inches above the sea level, you can. Of course, because
how horizons work.
But that is heliocentric video. That's not flat earther video.
Well, I've got the argument anyway, so don't worry about me. I'm fine with the horizon. The argument is what we're talking about. You posted it. We're talking about its fallaciousness, right? In form, and then the consequent. Is it really a consequent? Did he really mind his P's and Q's? Thanks, Emma. Did he?
I posted another argument.
Is it a necessary consequence of the Earth having a radius of that, like a distance that you can measure to a horizon?
Bev, I posted a new one. Bev, I posted a new one.
Why are you admitting defeat on this one then?
I posted a new one.
I can't defend it. I can't defend
I posted a new one. It's 13 minutes after the hour.
It's a picture.
I see the water. Yeah, it's a water behind the
rebuttal. That's not a rebuttal to the Modus Tollens, is it?
I'm not using Modus Tollens. I'm telling you, there is an ocean behind the oil rig.
Yeah.
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 Of course.
And the horizon will obviously be horizontal, right?
Do you know what? That picture you can repeat in reality if you do outside.
Yeah, the horizon's always going to be horizontal. That's something we can always agree on.
Of course. From the left to the right, you will never ever in your life
you never ever find
to it. You will never ever find a curve left to right or in the front ever. Yeah. And that flatness you will call the curve.
Rigs to show you that though, do you?
Everything what you observe, everything what you will observe, it will be flat, but you will call that curve.
I know that. Call it horizontal. You're not swapping.
Horizontal is flat. In my language, horizontal is flat. I'm sorry if it's in English.
Is flat an orientation?
Flat is the description of the surface.
With waves and ripples. Because like ripples would
I
be
don't
a
see
better
waves on this.
description,
I
wouldn't
don't
it?
see waves. I don't see
Waves
waves
and
in this
ripples.
picture. If I'm child, 10 years old child, I see the ocean and it's flat, and I see also some kind of color change of oceans, and I see oil rigs, and that's it.
Yeah, well, I've always seen the ripples. Constantly.
I'm telling you, like a child, what I'm seeing. I see the ocean. I see the color changing.
Okay.
It's a little bit blue, dark in front, and it's light behind. I see the sky. I see two oil rigs. That's what I see.
Mm-hmm. And that's a rebuttal to a Modus Tollens, or are you just showing us a picture?
I'm telling you, I see the ocean on 10 miles. That's it.
So the measurement, the distance measurement to the horizon.
I don't make measurements. I see the oceans on 10 miles. That's my claim.
Guys, I've just dropped out and I'm confused. I mean, so the Black Swan and the 1.2 distance to the horizon, that's a globe model claim, isn't it? Am I right? That's what they claim. They claim you can measure.
QE wrote the argument, innit? It's QE's argument. So you'd have to say that QE wrote that into his argument.
But it was their claim anyway, wasn't it, in the globe Earth calculator, that the distance can be no more than that distance?
I call that a fallacious calculator. Fantasy maths that is telling you how much a straight line has to curve for you to believe in the globe. But QE wrote it, so everybody knows about it now. It's almost as if he got people to repeat it.
Yeah, QE invented 3,959 miles and 1.22 miles.
No, QE got everybody to repeat it, and he's still getting you to post it. A fallacious argument. That's what I pointed out at the beginning.
Man, I don't need Santa Barbara. I was in Croatia, man. I did it for myself. Mm-hmm. I don't need the Santa Barbara oil rigs. I was in Cres. It's an island in Croatia.
So you have your own Black Swan then for this statement?
Of course that I have.
Okay. So you had a measurement, did you? To the horizon?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Not to the horizon. I have a view of the distance. There is no curvature. That I have. There is no curve in reality. That I have.
Okay. Well, yeah, I've got horizontal horizons. Always have had.
But I don't care about horizons. I have distances, and there is no curve.
Yeah. Because I do it the other way around. I did it the other way around, actually. I said that if the horizon's horizontal, then you would need.
I was looking for the shore.
You would need a picture of a curve, wouldn't you? In order to be the Black Swan.
I was looking for the shore of the island. I was not looking for the horizon. And shore.
Okay.
We got no sound now.
Yeah, I know. I just had to sort all my stuff out. Getting a bit of feedback. Right, so fallacious argument. I'm back. Yeah, the fallacious argument that he's going over now. He's getting stuck. He says he doesn't need the argument that he posted. Yet that's what we're discussing, is the fallacious argument that QE calls the Black Swan. And this guy says he doesn't need it, even though he was the one that posted it. Now, I think this is the guy that posted the argument the other day when we went over it, to point out that it's just fallacious. But it's about to take a shift now, because as you'll find out, the flat earther's struggling, but he needs some help, and the help comes from a strange place, and it's sort of connected to the same argument in a slightly different way. You may be able to see a link between how this argument was developed in the first place and who this argument was developed for.
Shore was there.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh. That's all. I see the shore.
So you could see.
I don't understand what you two are arguing about.
I can see something. That's
I don't
cool,
know. He's
you
very
know.
defensive. I was just trying to tell him about a fallacious argument he posted.
My problem is this. I learned that sphere, every sphere, ping pong ball, basketball, and big sphere, they're curving, you know.
Constantly.
Yeah, constantly. But this one does not curve because it's not sphere.
Horizons, all the planes of the horizon are going to be horizontal, aren't they? Always.
I don't care about horizon. Every sphere has drop over distance. Everyone. Big, small, enormous, super enormous. Even 100 times bigger sphere than Earth has drop over distance. You know? That's all.
I think that's a weird statement to say as well, because does the bottom of a sphere have drop over distance? I don't know. I'd say it wouldn't really, because the bottom, how can the bottom drop over distance? It's weird. I think they imagine themselves at a certain place in order to, maybe because they've seen pictures of people doing stuff. Drop over distance would be a slope, and spheres
but
are just
this one has
constant.
I'm sorry, this one has no. Did you try to see if there is a drop in the distance in reality?
A drop in the distance.
Did you try to find the drop over distance in reality?
Well, actually, we were the ones that sat in a dinghy.
I'm asking you a personal question. Did you try that? Did you try?
Notice, he asks me, did I try? And then when I start trying to answer him that yes, we have been to Bedford Levels and sat in a dinghy. Listen to him. He's too shouty. This is how you get when you get led by an argument. He's not listening. He's just asking questions, but not listening to the answers. Because I would say that out of most people here, I'd say that we've perhaps done the most to test all of these things. And we were testing level, really, on the level Discord server, about honesty and testing level, really. Hello. Are you actually waiting to listen or not?
Listen now what I'm saying. You are saying that my observations are wrong.
I don't know why you bother, honestly, because all he wants to do is tell everybody about what he's done, but he doesn't really care what you've got to say, or apparently anybody else.
Yeah, like for example, I didn't do anything, but everything what you do is wrong.
Really?
You haven't, have you?
Yeah, that's your position.
No, it's
you
not.
You didn't do observation and
what
anything
do you mean
like
we
that.
Didn't do observations. Do you know anybody that's got the footage?
Did you
from
do
what
that?
Robotham
Did you
did
do
at
that, Bab?
Bedford
Did
Level?
you do that, Bab? I asked you, Bab, did you do that? You said no.
Yeah, but you haven't done it either.
You didn't tell me what you were fucking doing. Right, listen.
I did it. I told you. You go to the beach.
I've gone
you
to
measure
Bedford
the drop over distance.
And got a camera at 8 inches above the water.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yes, we've done that.
You was there.
Yes, we have.
Okay.
And we've also been to the bridge where Wallace was with a camera and an auto level.
Okay,
so
I don't know.
What have you done? Have you ever been to the beach with an auto level?
Yes, I was in Croatia. I told you. I told you.
Have you ever managed to get under the horizon yourself?
I told you that I measured to the distance to the shore.
With your eyes, you said.
With my eyes, yeah.
You can't measure with your eyes.
Oh, because one island has distance to another island.
You said you verified it. That's what I was a bit confused about. In the original one, the Black Swan, you said you'd verified it. What did you verify? Because you keep saying 1.22.
No, I didn't. I still need to go to the beach to take a rope and to measure distance to the oil rig.
If you keep saying 1.22, that's confusing as well.
That's confusing.
I don't know what that is.
Then, man, what that is, I don't know. Learn your heliocentric model.
Well, I don't know. I thought there was more to that sum.
If you don't know what is 1.22 miles, that I cannot help you. You don't know your religion.
I know. Yeah, I can understand what 1.22, but in the argument, you keep saying 1.22 miles, and I thought there was another bit to the equation. So, I'm thinking that when I just came from the beach, and so if I look out, supposedly someone said that I can't see more than 1.22 miles. I thought the calculation was different to that anyway. So it just seems like your argument isn't very clear on lots of levels.
It's not my argument. You can type on Google now.
I know. You just repeated it. You're just repeating what you heard without even thinking.
I'm not repeating
about
anything.
what you're saying.
You can type it. You can type like
you have because you never verified it.
You can type it on the Google. How much I can see with my 2 meter or 6 foot height? How much I can see on the heliocentric model, and then we'll give you the answer. That is not the education what flat earthers wrote. That is the people who are heliocentric people who wrote about this map. That means they will tell you how much you can see. That is your priest will tell you how much you can see. Then I will take that. And I will take that Genesis.
But you're repeating.
That's Q. He's the priest. He wrote it in the argument. That's what he's saying. Go and check with Q.
I will take that Genesis, and that Genesis saying that I can see only 3.5 miles with my height. And I took that Genesis and go in reality. And I go to Croatian Sea, fucking Adriatic Sea, and I see
Genesis,
and I see 20 miles with my.
Is there a Glober? Is there a Glober in the chat that would like to speak at all?
Can I just, Eric? Can I just say something here? Now, Sasha, the next issue is that there was never a white swan to present a black swan for, because the distance to the horizon has never been measured. There was never a white swan. So there's nothing to debunk. Okay?
Of course. But because of that, I'm saying I see the water behind the whole.
Right. So is there a Glober who wants to speak?
Well, we're not
just repeating something badly.
Done with. It's a really bad argument that you've been handed.
Well, if it was formed properly, it would be good. It would be a positive argument if it was done right.
And is it too hard just
to actually do something?
Is it too hard just to ask the guy not to shout over everybody?
Yes, it is.
Oh, okay. So you don't correct people?
We can't. We can't control what people do, other than muting them.
So they can't control this Sasha character. They can't stop him from shouting. Although it does come across very aggressive. But they can't control him. So he must be one of the high figures there, and this guy's coming in to sort of calm him down. But he obviously can't tell him to not be so angry and shouty. Interesting that the hierarchy of how the structure works over there.
I can't ask him to do anything. He's just going to do what he does.
He's just going to do it.
Okay.
He just made lots of claims that he'd done stuff, and
just remember that everyone out there gets muted.
I'm confused about all this.
What was that? Dead air? Sorry, what did you just say? What was that snotty comment that you went on mute after?
Just remember that everyone out there who gets muted or told to shut up because they're being annoying or need to move the conversation on, but you can't do it to the shouty guy.
Right, we all agree.
Yeah, no. If I'm not, I was on deafen half the time, so when that's the case, no, I can't.
Mm-hmm.
Right, we all agree. We can't,
but the fact is I actually did mute him a couple of times. But anyway, I could mute you because that's also non-productive. I was hoping to hear from a Glober.
I've been muted a few times, and I'm sort of on the.
So he's saying that he didn't mute him because he was on deafen, but he did actually mute him a few times when he was on deafen. Or maybe he means that he just muted him like last week or maybe last year or something like that. We don't know.
It was non-productive what she said.
Yeah, but listen, we all agree that you can't.
I muted him, and she's asking the loaded question of why I wouldn't mute him.
No, I asked why you wouldn't correct him. You know, like say, can you just stop shouting?
Right. So we all agree the Earth's not a globe, though, don't we?
I have something very important. I came back for this reason, right? So
and you know, we don't. There's no actual measurement of that globe.
Dogmatic,
isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't.
It's not been measured, and it's impossible to measure to the horizon because it's not a physical thing, is it?
Give me level 3. I want to share screen or something.
Somebody,
I think
somebody
it's just like,
gave you a really bad argument, and they also gave you the solution to the bad argument. That you also,
really?
Yeah. Everything gets posted, the whole thing, doesn't it?
Well, I mean, I don't know, Bev. I don't know, mate. I mean, I don't know if you've got an issue with QE. I don't know what that is all about. But all I'm saying is, we agree we don't live on a globe. We all agree the horizon's not a physical location that can be measured to. So I think we're all sort of thinking along the same lines in that respect.
Yeah, we're talking about the argument that was posted. Could you not say that a rebuttal to that argument would be that you cannot measure a distance to the horizon? Wouldn't that be also a rebuttal to the argument? So that point there, right, is pivotal in this argument now. Somebody's come in to stop the shouty man because he obviously can't defend the QE's BS. And
standard procedure.
Yeah, and now this other guy's come in and said that you can't measure a distance to the horizon. Yet that's one of the things that's the consequent in the argument that QE posted it so like 5 years ago. That a distance to the horizon measurement must be something. Implying that you can measure a distance to the horizon if the radius is a certain value. It was a really weird argument when QE brought it in the first place. I think that's why Emma said, mind your P's and Q's. But that particular point, if you can't measure it, then you can falsify the black swan. The whole point of bringing these arguments out and the rebuttals to these arguments is because certain a chain of events occurs in people's minds as they're listening to this.
Yeah, the thing is, they're also not used to being challenged about this at all, are they? You know, this is being brought to them, you know, for the first time, and then when things start going west for them, then they call in the troops, try and change the subject, or come in with some support. They're not going to mute the other guy as long as he's keeping to the script, and it's a beneficial. It's the flat earth argument, so they don't really care. They'll let him keep going. But if he's flailing, or they don't want to hear you, Bev, particularly, then they'll bring in the troops and try and change the subject. And that's kind of what's gone on just there with a few voices coming in. So, sorry.
Yeah, the guy was already starting like, can we have a Glober, please? Because he's had enough of us, right? He doesn't want us rebutting their arguments. They want it like they have false dichotomy position, right?
Yeah. They're not used to being challenged by this. This is new ground. New ground. They're used to the Glober arguments, so they know how to battle these. These are well-worn arguments. They know what people are going to say. They know what people are usually going to say when they say something. But strangely enough, this even the Globe side hasn't picked up on the elements of this modus tollens. That the problem in that, and
they have because they've been told. I've been over and talked to many people about it. I've tried to talk to QE about this, Nathan Oakley. I think I've even been and talked to Mr. Sensible with his logic and cheese. I mean, what a joke. Yeah, and they don't really have this. People are rebutting the black swan, but not noticing about the form of the argument or even the consequent, the antecedent consequent relationship. I mean, it was told to QE 5 years ago when he started this by Emma. Mind your P's and Q's. Vital how important that statement is within making your argument, especially if you're involving if P, then Q. That relationship is ever important. Let's see now. Hopefully we get into this bit. To that particular argument.
Well, you can't measure. You can't measure something that's apparent.
But he's got it as a consequence of the Earth having a particular radius. But that's within QE's argument. Or if it is QE's argument, I mean, I don't know.
Well, I see that as a globe argument.
Well, why are you repeating it? Because QE's the one that gave it to you. That's telling, right? That guy sees that Modus Tollens, the QE's Modus Tollens, as a globe argument. And he's probably right, because it gives the globers all of the chances. It's fallacious, and it works in favour of the globe. How can he get it so backwards? I don't get it. It ends that with QE ends it with a fallacious statement. The Earth is not a sphere. How could that possibly be a globe argument? What's going on? What sort of a place are we living in? Very weird.
No, it's in the globe math.
It's QE's argument. They use this as a proof of flat Earth.
No,
for years.
It's used to point out that the horizon is not physical, and you can obviously see the apparent horizon.
Okay, so the ideal rebuttal would be that you cannot measure a distance to the horizon. Surely.
Yeah, that's
so to rebut the whole argument. You would say,
yeah, that's what I just said.
Yeah, mind your P's and Q's. Because not only did he change his P, but his Q wasn't really a necessary consequence. Was it?
Yeah. Well, I'm not really.
It was like awful.
Well, I don't know, mate. Like I just said, like we all agree that we don't live on a globe, and we all agree that the horizon we can't measure to the horizon. I mean,
yeah, like I said to QE, why don't you just say that the horizon's horizontal? Because you can make an argument for that. Easy. Now, who's going to disagree with you?
Well, nobody.
Well, there you go. Well, why do you reckon that QE continued to push this argument that people are repeating to this day? When there's a much simpler argument that people can understand, and you don't even need to mention flat Earth.
I mean, to tell you the truth,
I mean,
I'm just horizontal. To tell you the truth, I mean, I don't really lose. Personally, I mean, I have done, but at the moment, I'm just sort of bringing up the point that the horizon. You know, when you look out at the horizon, it is horizontal, and the sea level appears to be level, and that's what we observe.
They need a mean for the sea level.
Yeah, mean sea level. That sums everything up as far as I'm concerned. And that isn't a model; it's reality. When you go and observe these things, you can see the horizon's horizontal, and so we have a mean sea level.
So, if it were a globe, what would you expect to see?
If it was a globe,
what would you expect to see?
Well, I mean, if you lived on a globe, I'm sure you'd have to sort of be able to see some sort of curvature in the first instance to think.
See that very cleverly done from the globe sophist. If it was a globe, what would you expect to see? Now, what he's doing there, he's getting somebody else to make a picture of what they imagine the globe to be. And that's all you need to do. Put that image And now he's capitulating to it. He's actually giving it up. He's making that image for him. This is how they do it. This is how rhetoric works.
Well, look at that curve on the Earth I'm standing on. I must live on a globe.
So if you were out in the middle of the ocean, what would you expect to see if you were on a globe?
A curve.
Why?
Because a globe has got curvature.
Would you not expect to see a flat circle all the way around you?
No, I'd expect to see a curve, mate.
Pleonasm.
Then you really don't understand what we're saying.
A circle.
Yeah. I'd expect to see on the horizon a drop from on the left and on the right.
Why?
Because the Earth apparently would be a globe, and that's what you would see.
But no, that's not what we think we should see.
So what do you see then? Where do you see the curvature?
A circle. Where you see a circle. You'd see a circle all the way around you.
You have to measure that radius, right? Constant radius.
Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter the radius.
It does.
We'd expect to see a circle.
How can you tell it's a circle if you don't have a constant radius? That's what a circle is, isn't it?
Well, because it goes all the way around us.
You can measure it, can you? Like QE says.
How did you measure
it? Goes all the way around
us.
I didn't measure it. I was just asking him what he would expect to see
circle,
if there were
you would have to, wouldn't you? Unless you're just trying to implant images in people's minds by using words, but don't really mean.
No, I was just demonstrating he doesn't understand what we expect to see.
No, what do you see? Where do you see the curve? Not where do you expect. Where do you see it?
We see a circle.
Well, where do you see the curve?
Do you mean you see a circle? Where? In your mind?
No.
Where do you see the curve?
It's a big circle. I've been out in the ocean.
You see a circle behind your head, like at the back of you.
Yeah, I can turn around and see the rest of the circle.
Yes. Where do you see the curve then? Where do
you
see
don't actually see a circle then, do you?
No, that's what it means to actually see the circle.
What is?
Yeah, where do you see the curve, mate? Where do you see the curvature?
So are you saying that the only way you can see a circle is to see the whole thing at once?
If you see a circle, you're looking at a circle.
Yeah.
Do you have to see the whole thing at once?
Yeah. Where do you see the curvature then?
Do you have to see the whole thing at once? Right? It's a really simple question.
I don't think he's quite understanding what you're saying there, dude, but I don't regularly walk outside in my yard and where that...
He doesn't expect to see curvature, you see.
No, I do not expect to see curvature.
No, you live on a globe. Yeah, and you don't expect to feel any movement either, do you?
Nope.
No. So it appears horizontal and stationary, doesn't it? Yes is the answer. Yes is the answer.
Don't answer it for him. Don't lead.
Okay, sorry about that.
Sure. Yes. If you ignore all the other stuff that indicate that it's not stationary, yet it appears stationary.
Right.
If we're just looking down, yeah. But that's exactly what we would expect to see on a globe.
Yeah, a flat, stationary, horizontal.
We'd expect to see a big circle around us when we're out in the ocean.
We'd expect to see all horizontals being parallel to the plane of the horizon.
No, not on a globe we wouldn't.
And then we'd never be able to produce a black swan for that statement, would we? We'd never be able to find a horizontal that wasn't parallel to the plane of the horizon. Or parallel to another horizontal, would we?
I like how you change the subject. Very interesting.
Well, same thing. Black
Very
swan
clever.
arguments.
No, it's not.
Well, you've already decided you can't see a circle, can you? Like, although you say you think you can,
we
it's
haven't
in your mind
decided that.
the circle
You decided
you're
that.
actually seeing.
No, you decided that. I did not decide that. I can see a circle.
How did you determine it was a circle?
I would hope that you, as a grown-ass man, could see it too, but maybe you can't. Maybe you're not capable of seeing a circle. I don't know.
What is a circle?
What's a circle? My goodness. You people can't be serious.
You said you can see a circle in the ocean. What is it?
What's a circle?
What's a circle?
A circle?
Yeah.
Is a big round thing.
So if the definition of a circle is a round thing,
big round thing, big
round thing.
Are you guys seriously asking?
Can you not
me
have little circles?
What the definition? Are you seriously asking me what the definition of a circle is?
You just said what it is—a big thing, a big round thing.
Big round thing.
Have you guys? Have you guys referred it that far?
Is the difference between round and circular?
Oh man,
He does mean round because he's turning round, right? You do realise that. He's looking out, seeing all horizontals parallel to the plane of the horizon, and he's turning around. And he's imagining he sees a circle.
He doesn't expect to see curvature, though. Remember that.
Correct.
No, he's seeing a circle.
Yeah, he thinks he's seeing a circle
in his mind.
What would you call it? What would you call a line? What would you call a line that goes all the way around
I'd say
you?
that you just turned around, mate.
You've
exactly. And you notice you didn't answer the question, though.
So when you're looking straight out, do you see a circle?
You guys are desperate to avoid reality. It's just amazing.
What, the reality of the Earth curve that you don't see?
The reality of the horizon making a circle around you. It's very, very simple. Why do you get?
It's you.
We already agreed. We already agreed to that. We already agreed to that.
So you're turning around at 360 degrees, yeah?
Yes, yes.
And what would you expect to see?
And you see a consistent line all the way around you until you get back to where you started and it meets up right where you did. That is what we call a circle.
Right. So where's the measurement of Earth curvature come from?
Doesn't care. I don't care.
He's just spinning around. He's just saying, like, you can do it too, right? Stand in your front room and turn around. And just imagine a circle, right? That's how easy it is.
I'm not imagining it. I'm looking at it. I am looking at the horizon.
Experiments at home.
I'm not imagining. I'm looking at the horizon, and it goes all the way around me.
Okay. Yeah.
And we in the
experiments with
reasonable world call that a circle.
Yeah.
What do you guys call it?
Now, where do you measure Earth curvature?
I don't. Can you just at least acknowledge that it's a circle?
Just say tis globe. All right, you can turn around. Yes, we all agree with you, Scott. Yes, we can turn around. Yes.
And what do you see as you're turning around?
The horizon.
That part of the question.
I mean, I'm in the horizon. In my room, I'd see like four walls.
I'm not asking in your room.
Window,
I'm asking out on the ocean.
Doorway.
You guys so avoid reality. It's just amazing.
Yeah, we see the horizon.
Which makes what around you?
It's horizontal.
A horizontal
plane. Yeah, all the horizontals would be parallel to the plane of the horizon, which makes the plane of the horizon horizontal.
So you would see
that's what you would see as you turned around.
I feel one deck has it in him. He's getting there. He's going to say circle. Bev's never going to. I don't have any confidence that you're ever going to say a circle, Bev. You're resisting at all costs.
What are you trying to prove by turning around?
I just want to know if you guys agree that the horizon forms a circle around you.
It's horizontal.
It's a circle, right?
It's horizontal.
You turn around.
Yeah, you can't say a circle either, can you?
You can't do a circle. You can't say a circle because you can't measure a constant radius, which, right? This is going to go on for a bit. You get the gist that Scott McKay, this is adamant that he wants to be able to see a circle, but he's seeing the circle all around him. That's even behind his head. I get him to point out in a minute that it's just, he's in the center. So how do you see the circle that you're imagining? But it comes from this thing that QE's given, right? That there is a distance, an imagined distance to the horizon. And if that imagined distance stays constant, then he can imagine it's a circle. There's no other, nothing else to this argument other than that he wants you to agree to his circle that he thinks he can see. Not imagine, see. which is what a circle
we
is. But you
just want
can
to measure
turn
the globe.
around.
We want to measure the globe.
Does it prove a model by turning around? How does that work?
No, it doesn't.
Right. Well, what's the conclusion you want us to come to? We've got to say circle for that to suddenly become something in reality?
I just want to see if you guys can just acknowledge reality.
You can turn in a circle on one spot for sure.
And you can watch the horizon go all the way around you, right? Never losing contact with it or never losing sight of it.
Big panorama.
And when
hang on, Scott.
Okay.
Wait a minute. So to my north, fairly clear, I can see over there. As I turn, I always go sunwise, right? I turn towards the east. It's a bit foggy over there. Can't see so far. As I turn, the land behind me towards the south. There's a kind of a cliff and there's some trees.
That's why I said when you're on the ocean.
Well, even if I was on the ocean, it's going to be cloud and haze.
What if you have refraction?
It could be. You've never been on the ocean on a sunny day with
I just wonder what you're trying to what it will prove, even if anybody was to say that poisonous word circle.
I've already told you. I just want to see if you guys can acknowledge simple reality. If you can agree that you see what I see.
I told you about my reality.
Yes, you're standing on the beach right now. I was talking in the middle of the ocean.
Experiments
No
with
land
Scott
in
go
sight.
into the ocean. Is this the thought experiments with Scott? Okay.
No, I've actually been there.
We're with you. Come on, let's go.
I've been there on several occasions.
I know, but we can't go there. You've just told a man who's actually out and he's seeing, well, I don't know, 70, 80 degrees of ocean, but you're saying that's not enough. So obviously there's nobody there with us. So let's go thought experiment now. Right? We're all out on the ocean, and the ocean obviously is the calmest thing you've ever seen, although we live right near the North Sea and that's never going to happen, but let's say it does, right? We're all sat in a boat, a little dinghy, something that's easy to turn round, circular. Let's be in a swim ring or something like that. We're looking out.
So desperate.
And we're just going to turn round, right? In our little swim ring.
Just hear the
paddle the same direction.
Yeah.
As we spin.
A tight circle? Or do they have to be big round things? Or can we just turn in a tight circle just on the spot?
Will it be different if I wear my glasses or not wear them? What do you think? What's the best?
But are you guys aware of how hard you're working to not say it's a circle?
Well,
are you aware of this? Are you aware of this?
I've got a question. When you spin around and you're turning, is the horizon at the same distance all the way around when you're turning?
I'd say it's pretty close.
You'd have to be able to measure it, wouldn't you? That's the point, I think.
Yeah, you would. You would have to know that.
For a circle. But you're just turning around. So are you agreeing with QE that you can have a measurement distance to the horizon?
I never said anything about a measurement, did I?
You would need it. You are required to have that for your statement of circle. Constant.
This is fascinating. This is fascinating.
What if when you're looking?
What if you're looking guys will go not to acknowledge a very simple reality?
Scott? What if you're looking north? And you see that apparent horizon, say, at 7 miles or 10 miles, and then you look south and it appears to be at 3 miles. Have we got a circle?
In the ocean at the centre of his circle at the end. So everywhere he's looking is south, right? You could just turn and look south all the way around. How about that? Can you imagine that? The place where there's no north, east, or west. There is only south.
Are the oceans circular?
What are you talking about?
Are the oceans circular?
The centre of your circle that you're imagining.
The ocean's circular, is it? What ocean is circular in shape?
I never said the ocean was circular, did I?
No, he was talking about his horizon.
Oh, it's just that he was in a dinghy in the middle of the ocean and he said circle. I thought it was. I don't know what he's trying to get at. That's all.
It was just wants you to say circle, but I mean, we all know what a circle is and how
And
to
you're
define
desperate
it.
not to.
He just
And you're
thinks it's a
desperate not
big
to.
round thing. That's the best he
And
can
you're
do.
and you're desperate not to say it's a circle. I don't
You
wonder
were in the
why.
ocean. You were in the ocean on your boat or whatever you were on.
Yep.
And you turned around in a circle, and you observed a circle.
Yes.
Yeah. But he's not seen any curvature yet.
And what does that? What did that conclude for you?
Let's first see if we can get people to acknowledge that
you said it.
It's a circle.
You're the one who did it. We haven't done it. You're the one who did it. I just wondered what your conclusion was when you went round and you described it as a circle. What did you then think?
My conclusion was basically I was trying to talk to one deck to see what he thinks that we are saying you would expect to see on a globe.
Well, I can't say circle because I wasn't there, but you described it and you assured us that was so. So I wondered that when you got to that and you looked round in your mind, when you're looking around, you think, Jesus, it's a circle.
Yep.
Then what? What
asking,
do you then conclude?
Nothing.
Nothing. Oh, okay. So you're here telling nothing. Great. What's the point of that then?
I told you what the point was.
Just to get everybody to say circle and then you'll be happy.
No.
And you have a cup of tea and a bit of cake and go home.
Should
Why
I
don't
tell
we all
you?
say after three? After three,
the
everybody
point
say
again?
circle. 1, 2, 3. Circle.
Should I tell you the point again? And would you listen
Scott
this
saw a
time?
circle. We agreed. Scott saw a circle. We agree. He told us he saw a circle. Okay.
Well, circles
now
exist within the mathematical realm anyway, right?
One deck said we would
doesn't mean a
expect to see the
physical
Earth
circle,
curve
does it?
from
It's
left to right.
It's only within
I don't
that
know.
mathematical realm.
That's what I was trying to get to. What, because it's not my mind, it's Scott's mind.
Yes.
I'm just trying to listen to your mind as you describe
but
it
you're
with the
not
words
but
you
you're not
use.
listening when I'm describing.
I was,
You're
I
ignoring
was.
it.
He said,
No,
turn
'cause-
around, look all around you, and you can see a circle. Well, I can't, but you said you can. And I
And
asked
you're as
what you
desperate
concluded from that when you looked round and you saw a circle. I wonder what you concluded.
And then you asked, why did I bring it up? And I told you because one deck said that it should curve left to right. And I said, no, that's not what we'd expect to see on a globe.
So you
Did
didn't
you hear that
conclude
part?
anything.
Did you hear that
What would you
part?
expect to see? What would you expect to see on a globe?
A circle.
No curvature, then.
You mean
Correct.
you can picture a circle in your mind after turning around?
With no curvature.
Correct, with no curvature. It would be
A
a
bit
flat
like the
circle.
Modus Tollens thing.
So we live on a flat. So we live on a flat circle.
We would expect to see a flat circle if we were on a globe.
Nazim, there's no need. A circle's a circle. It exists within the mathematical realm, which is in your mind.
Whatever. I'm just trying to communicate to one deck.
That by turning around.
Man,
so when
you're
you picture
desperate,
the
Eric.
circle, do you
Unmute
put
me, aren't
yourself at the center? Are you?
Of course.
Okay, always.
Duh.
The monad.
Yeah, if you see a circle around you, you're by definition the center of it. Yeah.
Wonder if you were stood on a large box and you couldn't see the edges when you turn around on a large, flat, horizontal box. Would it look circular?
I don't think so. I wouldn't expect it to.
Would you see the corners?
If it were on a large, yes, I would see the corners. If the edges were close enough, if they were far away, I think that it would just fade out.
Say the corners were like 7,000 miles away. Would you expect to see them then?
No, I would expect the horizon not to really be there, just everything to
So when you
fade
turned
out.
around on the top of the box, what would you see?
I answer you and you just don't hear. This is weird.
When you're on top of the box, you can't see the corners because they're 7,000 miles away. When you turn round, like you're doing in your boat, what do you see on the
I'm
flat?
going to answer you now. Can you listen this time? I've already answered twice.
No, you've not answered the question yet.
I haven't said exact. I would expect to see no horizon.
So what would you see
at
then?
all? I'd expect to see the water kind of fade out as the atmospheric distortion kind of just it'd go like going off into a very, very distant
like
cloud.
the horizon's
It
an
would be blurry.
apparent position,
It would be
like
blurry.
something like that.
No, I just told you exactly what I would see. No clear horizon. That's what I would expect to see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, horizon, right?
No clear horizon is what
No
I would
clear
expect
horizon.
to see. Yes.
I see the horizon pretty clearly every day.
So
I
do
can't
I.
tell you the difference to it.
So do
So
I.
then how come
That's
there's
why.
no clear horizon then?
Can you turn around as well when you're looking at the horizon? Have you ever tried doing that?
Because we're not on a box.
Yeah.
That
Scott
must be
might
a
like
globe
ballet.
then, right?
He might be Scotty might be a ballerina.
Yeah. Yeah,
You guys
spinning.
just don't.
Spinning.
Do you really?
Right round.
Do you guys really approach this world
Baby.
without expectations of what you expect to see? Seriously? No? Nobody?
I'm with you, Scott. Can we put our arms out when we're doing this?
Whee!
You're so desperate to deal with not to deal with reality. It's amazing.
You only mentioned circle in the argument when you were talking about it. You didn't say anything about curves or anything. Just that you could turn and see a circle. I don't know what you were trying to prove from that or conclude.
I was just communicating
so that we could
that's
move
what
on,
we would
and then try and
expect.
think, okay, that's what he means.
This is what we would expect on a globe. And if you guys think we should expect something different, I was correcting that. That's all I was doing.
What do you expect on a globe?
Should I say it again?
He expects that he can go and stand in a place and point south
and now
in
you asked
every
me
direction.
once
That's
again,
what he expects.
and it's because I just answered you, and then you asked me the question just again, like just immediately after I just answered you. I would expect to see a horizon on a globe that forms a circle around me. I don't know how much clearer I can be.
How does that confirm the globe in your mind then?
Because I can visualize what I would expect to see on a globe, and that conforms to it.
Visualize where from? Where'd you get that visual from? Confirm to visualization from?
From my innate ability as an adult human being with the ability to conceptualize abstract objects and apply them to concrete objects, which I would hope you would all possess the capability of doing too, but maybe not.
As I said, if I did it with my glasses on or off, will it make a difference? My visualization, my conception will be totally different.
It's the power of positive thinking.
Either way, it'll form a circle.
I need something before that to inform me to go out looking for it, to confirm it again. So somebody gave me a picture and said, this is what we expect you to see. And you go out to try and, visualize that in reality that confirms the picture.
Yeah,
or the story someone told you.
Yeah, I would hope you'd be capable of doing that, but maybe I'm wrong.
Making circles in your mind. Just
like a circle in a spiral, like a
observing circles with my eyes.
Never ending or
making
beginning.
circles with your eyes. That's good.
No, observing.
You're not observing the circle, though. That's a fallacy to say that.
Observing
because you're at the center. You can't see the circle.
Sure, I can.
No,
maybe
you've
you
placed
can't.
yourself at the center.
Can.
It's impossible. You don't have vision to be able to see the circle.
Sure, I do. I do. Maybe you don't.
It's obvious. It's imagined in your mind. Are you like a God position, looking down on yourself, seeing the circle?
I don't need to have a God position to see the whole circle. I don't need to see the whole circle at once in order to know I'm looking at a circle.
You put yourself at the center.
He did the same with the water level. He put himself at the center and said that was different.
So, Bev, what you're telling me is you're incapable. So what you're telling me, Bev, is you're incapable of seeing a circle unless you can see the whole thing at once.
sort of a Dionysius thing.
Bev,
been listening to the pastors.
Bev, are you telling?
Scott,
hold on for a second.
have you been listening to the pastors?
Bev, are you telling me you cannot tell you're looking at a circle unless you can see the whole thing at once?
You can see a circle, yes. That's the only way you can say that's a circle.
Yeah, well then,
because you have to be able to see the circle.
I can't help you. If you, as an adult human being, are incapable of telling whether you're looking at a circle, there's not much I can help you with.
Mm-hmm.
I'm capable
I don't
of
need
telling
any of
whether
your
it's a
help,
circle
thank you
or
very
not.
much, Scott.
I know.
I'm doing all right without it, to be honest.
Yeah, okay.
But I like the idea of you exposing the fact that these circles only exist within the mind.
Yeah, I know that you think I did, but yeah.
So did you, when you were in the circle, have you got, how long is your stick?
You don't need a stick. I don't know where you guys.
Well, you need to kind of, get to the point. So you say over there, right, the stick is reaching the horizon. I'm turning in a circle. Oh, bumped into a boat there.
So you're like Bev. You think the only way you can tell whether you're in a circle is to have a stick with you? That's sad,
It's
man.
a visual thing. You're just talking
That's
about
sad.
a visualization, you said.
Yes,
So
we can
nothing
see
that
circles.
could verify that that's actually what you're seeing.
Yes, we can see circles. At least I'm capable of seeing circles. And maybe you're telling me you're not.
Is it a line?
Yeah.
Is there a line out there? Then I could. No, hang on.
Maybe I have to take you at
Put
your
my
word.
glasses on.
So what you're telling me is you're incapable of seeing a circle. Sorry. If that's
Yeah,
true,
I can
then
see
I'm
it. I
sorry
can
for
see
you.
a circle in
I'm
some
sorry for you
circumstances.
then.
Yeah, but looking
Scott,
out at the
how about all
horizon.
the perpendiculars to that circle? What would you say they are?
It's a circle, right? Obviously, you keep saying it.
Yeah.
So, like a circle's a circle, right, Scott?
Scott said he wasn't bothered. He said he was retired and he just came along here just to kind of listen, and he really didn't care anymore about it.
Yeah, he wouldn't be misleading people about his circles, would he?
You see it quite a lot. I guess, that's what happens when you retire. You got time. Sit
Who's
with your
retired?
tea and your biscuit, looking out of the window.
He did it. He did have himself at the centre of the circle as well, didn't he? At the centre of it.
Yeah, right at the centre. Have you got one of those lazy boy chairs that spins? Is that what started it?
Do you reckon it's his eyes or his feet? I suppose if he's seeing it, it must be like the centre of his mind, right? Where his eyes, the centre.
Yeah, that's what I imagined when he said visualization. Wow. That's what I thought.
The desperation in this room is palpable.
I tell you, I listened to some Shadow Giants last night. Nice. They were telling some real fucking heavy business, man. And, this is minor. This is, insignificant kind of dust that you're talking about.
Circles, isn't it? Circles in your mind.
Well, I wondered if you'd been listening to the pastor and you got,
Wait, what's
spiritual confirmation.
What's this giant thing you're talking about?
Well, you're not a giant, Scott. You're not.
I know that. Jeez.
You're just somebody who's repeating something that you've heard, and you can't confirm that to us. You're just telling us about what you perceive.
He's paralogized the shadow giants, and
they told you that it must
regurgitate it.
What's a shadow giant?
Vain hopes of becoming a semi-shadow giant.
Yeah. Whoever gave you the image that you're visualizing against to try and confirm it in your own mind. That one. I don't know wherever you got
like
that.
this in real life, where you don't have conversations with people, you just start talking like
Here we go. There's a lot of people probably won't get this, but I mean, I'll try my best. Have you heard of standing on the shoulders of giants?
I've heard the phrase, yes.
Okay. Now, that means that you are taking your knowledge upon those that have already gained it, right? Now,
yes, I build on what they've done, yes.
Imagine that you're just taking on paralogisms, right? Some untruths. But just because somebody says it, you are making them a shadow giant, right? You have no proof for their giant-like status. You are just taking it on. Now, if they are shadow giants that you are standing on the shoulders of, how much higher do you actually get? That's the point of the shadow giants. Just repeating and regurgitating stuff leaves you in a really bad position if you have no knowledge or experience of the truth that they're proposed to pertain to.
And what truth do you have?
Well, we're just pointing out that a circle is required to have an equal radius or diameter. And that goes with the statement of pi, right?
Duh.
Mm-hmm. And pi, you know, like everybody knows pi is a constant,
what else you got,
don't
Bev?
they?
What else do you have?
Everybody knows that pi is a constant.
What else
they, Scott?
do you have?
We're talking about the circle. Are you shifting now, Scott?
My favorite seal. Been a while, hasn't it?
Come on,
That's
Scott.
right, you stay muted.
You're running.
Huh?
Running from what?
From your circle.
Running from the ball.
It's a circle. It's not a ball. It's a circle, isn't it, Scott? That you're in the middle of when you turn round.
It's a sphere. It's a sphere.
It's a circle. Ask Scott.
It's a sphere.
He's just been talking for, I don't know, 20, 30 minutes telling us it's a circle with him at the centre of it. All he has to do is turn around.
No.
I mean, when you said about, you described...
Challenge you, Scott. Is he saying you're full of shit? I think. Something like that.
Everyone, where's Clay? Where's Clay? I really want to talk to Clay.
I really would like to know what you're getting out of this, Bev.
Clay
On someday, just me and you.
You
Just
confirm.
me and you, just to figure out what are you getting out of this.
I'm getting mathematical knowledge.
But what are you going to do with it?
What are you going to do with it?
We'll probably talk about it.
Out of staying here, man.
Well, what's the end goal for you,
Swaz
Bev?
on it, Gromit.
What's the end goal for you, Bev?
What's the end goal? There is no.
Yeah.
Put some swaz on
There
it,
is no
Gromit.
end goal.
There's no end goal?
Can you say that, please? Can you say put
We're
some
just
swaz on it, Gromit?
discussing stuff, aren't we?
But you're not really discussing anything, are you?
You were trying to tell us how you
No,
make
I know,
circles in your mind.
yeah, it seems like your goal is to take everything I say, twist it into knots, and say I said something I didn't say for some reason, and I'm not sure what that reason would be.
I don't know what you're saying. You're trying to say that you want us to agree to some circle imagination that you have because you turn around. Now, how's anybody meant to agree to that? Nobody's got a clue what's going on in your mind, Scott.
Well, maybe none of you do, but if I go out in the real world, a lot of people will know exactly what I'm saying. And so why is this room so special?
This is the real world.
No, this isn't. Trust me, this is not the real world.
When Bev just talked about how you would, confirm a circle, you said, yeah, no shit. Like, you agreed with him, right? How you would do that.
What did he say? What did he say?
With a radius or a diameter, geometrically, how you would describe a circle. And you said, no shit, like, yeah, of course that's how it is. You mean you're trying to tell me something? Yeah, you agreed. So all we were asking is how you do that when you're standing or sitting on a boat on the ocean, turning round, and you said you saw a circle, and we were just asking how the hell you knew that was a circle. Using those principles that you agreed was the way to do that.
Are you suggesting that I said it was an exact circle? I mean, absolutely precise.
Well, you can now change all the words because, there's a little hole you've got kind of painted yourself into.
What's an exact circle?
I haven't painted myself into any hole. I assume that 2 or 3 grown adults, grown-ass men can know what people are talking about when they say, I saw a circle.
You said you visualized the circle. We've confirmed that.
No, I didn't visualize it. I saw a circle.
They were your words. You visualized
a circle.
Yeah, with your eyes that you couldn't measure.
Yes.
But that's what you saw.
I saw a circle with my eyes.
And I said, how did you verify it? And you said you visualized it from some information that you gained from somewhere else. And you confirmed it against that other image or words. Well, yeah, that's what you said.
I never said
People
that.
get that stuff. They get that information from the world.
I never said any of that. I don't know what you're making up.
That's why we were talking about visualization. It was in your mind, and we aren't there and done it. And you're describing it. You're the one with the experience. You're telling us the story. And we were just asking that. So
Well,
you can't do that from your boat with a radius. I crudely said, how long was your stick?
I would venture to say that everybody who does that goes out in the ocean on a clear day where you can see the horizon 360 degrees. They're going to see exactly what I saw. I'd venture to say that. And I was just wondering if anybody ever has come
What does
out
that
here.
conclude? Even that so, what does it conclude?
You've asked me that now 4 times, and I've answered it 4 times. I'm not going to do it a
You
fifth.
see a circle. That's it. That's
I'm
what
not
it
going to
says.
do it a fifth. Because if the first 4 times didn't work, the fifth is not going to.
You saying you were talking to one deck because he said, that you're on a globe. You said you'd expect to see a curve, but you're talking about the circle.
Clearly, you're not interested in understanding anything.
I am. It's just your question was only about the circle you use. That's all you were saying. You turn around and you see a circle. There's no curve in there. There's nothing else. It's just you turning around and a circle. There's no other thing to consider.
Yes.
Now you're saying, well, it maybe not exactly a circle. So now you've added something. When I keep asking you about this circle, you're bringing in somebody else, but that's not in the statement you're making. You're just talking about you in one position, turning round and seeing a circle. That's all the words I heard.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's all you needed to hear. That's all I said.
Yeah. Well, you've said that all day. I don't know why it makes a difference whether I repeat what you said. Well, I don't know what that confirms.
Well, because you've been for the last half hour saying I said something different and trying to add or change or do something to a very simple statement. You see a circle.
And
end of statement.
You saw a circle. You said that we got to say circle.
You will see a circle too.
In order that you would go to the next thing, like there was another stage.
You will see a circle too if you went out on the ocean.
And what about if I see the circle? What would that confirm to me if I did see that?
Well, it'll confirm the horizon is not a straight line for one.
It's horizontal out there.
But it's not a straight line for one.
What difference does that make?
Scott. What plane does this circle lie on?
Well, if it's a circle, it makes its plane.
And that would be a horizontal plane, wouldn't it?
The horizon is a horizontal circle, yes, but the rest of the water I'm sitting on is above that horizon from my perspective. And no, the water does not flow.
I've not paused it for a while. Did you hear that? Putting that back again, like we've gone over. This is the way these sort of conversations always go, and a lot of people don't like sitting through all of this sort of stuff. But it's like a bit of a chess match where Scott's laid out his argument, and his argument is that he can see a circle. And we say, well, that's a bit impossible because you can't see the bit of the circle behind you. You have to see the full circle. And he can't do that because all he's doing is looking at the horizon. But somewhere he envisions a circle. Now, let me get that. See what he says here. Go over this bit.
And that would be a horizontal plane, wouldn't it?
The horizon is a horizontal circle, yes, but
the horizon is a horizontal circle. Now he's talking about the horizon being a horizontal circle. Okay, well, I mean, we don't know how the circles appear, but he now imagines it's a horizontal circle.
But the rest of the water I'm sitting on is above that horizon.
The water he's sitting on is above. He's in higher. That's above is a height above what he imagines to be the horizontal circle that he's just been talking about. So he's at an elevation higher, above.
From my perspective. And no, the water does not flow.
So he imagines being above the water. He's on water that is above the horizon, but not flowing. Like a magic little place that he's on now. He's on a special little water hump that's above the horizon. Him. Not his eyes, the water. Amazing.
So all the perpendiculars to this horizontal circle, what would you call
There's
those?
only one. There's only one none of those perpendiculars are the same. Are parallel to each other anywhere along that circle.
So now we've got a circle that is horizontal, and none of the perpendiculars. I'll go over that again just to make it, because this is sort of where we're getting to. Scott's going to disappear. He's going to have to. But he's asked now about the perpendiculars to a circle. And everybody knows that all perpendiculars to a plane will be parallel. That's a geometric statement that you can quite confidently make. But not Scott. Scott says this.
So all the perpendiculars to this horizontal circle, what would you call
There's
those?
only one. There's only one none of those perpendiculars are the same. Are parallel to each other anywhere along that circle.
None of the perpendiculars are parallel on his circle that Scott imagines that he can see, which is fantastic because he's got a really weird imagination. Really strange, considering he's just been talking about the circle.
Well, it's definitely a circle, right? So it's planar, right?
None of the
Did you say none of the
perpendiculars
perpendiculars
are
are
parallel.
parallel
Correct.
to a circle?
To that particular circle on a sphere, yes.
That all perpendiculars to a plane are parallel, though.
Yes, I know, but it's not a plane.
What, the circle? Circle's a 2D
Just
shape,
went
mate.
Yeah, you just went like half hour, 45
You
minutes.
guys are
But
so
definitely see a
desperate.
circle. Well, you're the one who said you see a circle.
You were making
Okay,
the circle, Scott. We confirmed it many times.
Okay, so the perpendicular to the plane that circle makes is not plumb at that circle line.
Did you hear that? Hear that again? Is this again? Scott McKay, he's been over there. He's one of the top voices over there in this sophistry pit, in one of the guest rooms over at the politics server, where sophists apply their trade. And Scott has now spent a long time talking about a circle, but then says that the perpendiculars to the circle won't be parallel. I don't know how he imagines that, but I mean, this is his next one. Many times.
Okay, so the perpendicular to the plane that circle makes is not plumb at that circle line.
We're going to have to listen to it again because it's nonsense. It won't compute. Your brain can't take in what he's saying because it just doesn't make any sense. So let's listen to it again just to make sure what he's saying. Many times.
Okay, so the perpendicular to the plane that circle makes is not plumb at that circle line.
Perpendiculars to the plane that the circle makes are not plumb at the circle line. The circle line? Anyone know where that is? I think we're going over that now. Circle
How about
line.
that?
The circle line.
Well, what's a circle line? I've never heard of one of them.
Well, then you need to get out more.
Well, where's the definitions of this? Was this mathematical term? It's a globe maths. Dogmatic globe maths. Circle line. Please define circle line to us commoners.
Okay, so where are these perpendiculars to the circle? When Jerry said the perpendicular or the perpendicular, whatever, perpendiculars, where are they?
The circles are two-dimensional shape, right?
When he said the perpendiculars,
to
where
the
are
circle
they?
would be to the circle.
Which circle?
The circle, like Scott.
Which
There's no
circle?
different circles. There's a circle that you made in your mind. All of the perpendiculars to that circle, either side, doesn't really matter. They will be parallel.
Yes, but that circle is not on the surface of the water. Then
It's in your mind, Scott. Always has been. Oh, do you see that? But we're getting into the technical argument stuff now. Take note of all of this stuff. Listen to this again.
yes, but that circle is not on the surface of the water. Then
Circle's not on the surface of the water?
Circle is getting more complex.
Yeah.
I thought it was a really simple thing in the beginning.
He was looking at the horizon, wasn't he? Right?
Yeah.
And that was the limit of his circle. But now it's not on the water. The circle's like how can he tell a limit if the circle's like elevated above the water? What's he talking about? It's great, isn't it? And at this point, I think Scott now realizes, the circle thing isn't really going to work anymore. The measurement to the distance, the horizon, that he imagines as being an equal radius, with him as the center point, isn't really going to work. Let's see ya. It's in your mind, Scott. Always has been.
it's a chord through the water. It's a cross section.
It's a chord through the water now. The circle. Somehow the circle is a chord. Somehow. This was quite good fun going through this. You don't forget that Scott sat there for an hour talking about this circle, trying to get us to agree to the circle. And now the circle's turned into a chord. Through the water. It's a circle.
Cross section of the water.
I thought you could only see
a cross section of the water. The circle's a cross section of the water. I don't know what sort of an argument he had with the circle. The circle argument doesn't really work.
See it. We've got a chord now.
Where's the chord come from?
Oh my goodness!
To
You
what?
guys
The
are
circle.
so desperate not
Are you
to
talking about the
understand.
radius? Well, the diameter's a chord.
We're trying.
Right, everybody understands that the diameter is a chord. It's the largest
You don't
chord
understand
of a
anything.
circle. And Scott's now calling which is a chord, Scott?
String kind of chord, isn't it? Because
you're
I'm still on my boat.
That would be a radius, wouldn't it? Like, anyway.
So turn around, looking at the circle that might not be exactly a circle, and now I've got a chord.
Yeah, the circle
What
that might be
happens next?
not an exact circle, which means not
So
a circle, right? It's just not a circle. But Scott's still got it as a circle, and all the perpendiculars to that circle will definitely be parallel.
Yep, and none of them are plumb.
It's just a
It's
circle.
a bit like playing like a computer game where you kind of get along and then you get another level.
Dude, why?
Open a box and get more information.
Circles, bro. What is happening?
None of the perpendiculars to a circle.
Did you just get here, Tim Tam?
Is that because the circle might be plumb?
The circles?
Did you just get here, Tim Tam?
Yeah, I just got here.
He
and you guys
needs
have been
help.
spouting about circles.
No,
for like 10
I can
minutes.
explain it. I can explain it to you in like 10 seconds.
All right, go ahead.
Because you understand the Earth's a globe, right?
Let's go.
That's what I believe it to be. Yes.
Yeah. So I'm just trying to tell them that if you go out in the ocean and you look all the way around you, you see a horizon line going all the way around you, and that horizon line makes a circle around you. And they're trying to say, I can't know it's a circle. It's not a circle. I'm saying it, but it's a circle. And now they're trying to play with the whole idea of perpendiculars to that circle. And that's where we are right now. Even though, you know, we all know that, you know, there are no perpendiculars to that circle because that circle would cut through the ocean itself. And I on the boat would be a little bit above the top of that circle.
Of course.
Oh,
Yeah.
bigger
And
now.
so this is what they're playing with. And then, you know, they're
Tim
talking
Tam.
about perpendiculars. And I'm saying that none of these perpendiculars to that geometrical circle would be plumb at any point on the actual ocean.
Truth is, Tim Tam, he said that if we were on the ocean and we
But did you
turned.
guys see how easily Tim Tam understood what I said?
No, yeah, I know it was your version, but what you said was that you were on the ocean, you turned around in a circle, and you could see a circle. Then he said that it's not exactly a circle.
I could see the
And
horizon
then
line
he
as a
started
circle.
making claims about the distance. And now
I
he's
made no
introduced.
claims about distance. Don't lie.
Now he's introduced the
I
chord.
made zero claims about distance. Don't lie.
Well, you know, to
Don't
describe
lie.
this circle, you're going to need a distance, aren't you?
Don't lie. It's
You
beneath you.
then
Don't
you
lie.
That's the chord you're now introducing.
Don't lie. It's beneath you.
You
What's
was
beneath me?
told. Did you measure it? You said, I don't care about measurements.
Exactly.
You also said
So don't say I
that
measured it.
there's no
And don't
way.
say I made any claims about the distance.
There is no way you could see the sphere. There's no way you could tell it's moving. So everything that you're trying to stand on is a belief you have.
I'm just telling y'all what I would expect to see on a globe Earth. I would expect to see a circular horizon. And I do.
Yeah, that was the visualization. That's what I said. You expected to see it. You expected to see it from where? Who told you should expect to see that?
Oh, I can figure that on my own. I don't need
that's
anybody
where we
to tell
got
me
to the
that.
point you're arguing about the shadow giants.
I don't need
your
anybody to tell me that.
imagination.
I can do that on my own.
So it's just your theory
I
then.
don't need anybody to tell me that. No shadow giants, no giants, no nothing.
Would you say
I
that?
can figure that by myself.
Would you say M. Scott Veach's dad is a shadow giant for you?
No.
When did you first
You
have
should
this
also
epiphany?
indicate that you guys resisted forever and you're still resisting, just admitting or conceding that the horizon forms a circle around you because you're desperate not to say it's a circle because you keep saying it's a straight line and it's not.
Well, the radius for that circle would be a straight line.
Okay. You've been told multiple times, okay, you have a circle. Now what? Where is it going? What's the next step?
I've already told you that like 9 times, and if you haven't heard it 9 times, the 10th is not going to help. This is the thing about you guys. You never hear. It's as if, you know, the whatever is said just goes poof, right past her, in one ear, one out the other, and fascinating phenomenon, though.
Did somebody ask you about a circle being on a plane? How that would be? How that would represent itself?
If someone did what, where?
Well, you're standing there and, you know, you're looking around in this circle. You know, it's on a plane from you, wherever you're looking, your eyes or your feet.
It's not on a plane.
And, you know, that would be horizontal, wouldn't it?
A circle
It's
that's not on a plane.
No, the waters are curving down to the horizon line.
Okay. So the horizon that was horizontal a bit earlier has now turned to be a not circle, because circles are a 2-dimensional shape. Scott's imagining. No wonder we couldn't picture this circle, because we'll go back over it. Listen to the circle that Scott's thinking about and see whether that's the circle that you were imagining, Scott was imagining.
And that would be horizontal, wouldn't it?
A circle
It's
that's not on a plane.
No, the waters are curving down to the horizon line.
Well, you can't measure that. You're just saying that.
Don't have to.
See, it's curving down. This circle that he imagines is curving down. He imagines it's horizontal because he did say that earlier enough. He was on a little bit of elevated water in the centre above this horizontal circle that he had. That all of the perpendiculars to it aren't parallel.
Yes, because he is now talking about spherical cup.
Yeah.
Not a circle.
Not a circle. So all of that, like he's been going for an hour explaining a circle, when he doesn't actually imagine the same sort of circle that you're imagining. When you imagine circle and you hear him say circle. It's interesting.
Okay.
That's
all we're trying to clarify, that you just come in with some imagination you have and trying to say, that's fact for everybody. Even though it might just be for you.
It's the only reason we would see a horizon. Without the curve, we would see no horizon.
It's his globe.
Yeah, but you just imagined this because
without the curve, you would see no horizon. He's axiomated this. If there weren't a curve, you wouldn't be able to see an horizon. The very fact that you can see the horizon means there is a curve. Axiomated. A circular argument. Well, let's call it a circular argument. It's a circular reasoning, right? He's reasoned that the horizon's only there because there's a curve, yet he imagines it's a circle.
Yes, but he is creating a false dichotomy, because dichotomy for him, it is that or it is spherical horizon, or there would be no horizon. This is what he's saying, that without curve there would be no horizon.
But he only gets the circle because he turns around. He sees the horizon, which is horizontal. He just turns around in a circle.
Yes, I agree. This is, of course, if you have horizon as a line, because this is how we see horizon, you are turning this line with you, as you are turning. So, but this is not a circle. This is just turning a line around some point, or your vantage point, let's say. So I have no problem with that, but this is not a circle. You are making a circle by turning yourself, but this horizon line is straight as it was. It's just moving around along with you.
Yeah,
this
he spun round. Like a record, baby.
Yeah, but still he's making a false dichotomy, because he's saying or this is circular reasoning, because he's saying that horizon exists only on the globe, on the sphere.
Yeah.
So, and this is perfect circular reasoning. Yes, this is because you cannot go out from that. Why we have horizon? Because we live on the sphere. Why we live on the sphere? Because we can see horizon. This is circle and circle. Yes, this is perfect example of circular reasoning.
Yeah, Eric, that's right. Eric says, did he say the circle creates its own plane? Then did he put that plane under the water? It's like, yeah, in his mind he did, yeah.
Yes, he confused,
and he called it horizontal as well, didn't he? Like at the same time, that the entire circle he calls horizontal, which is the circle behind your head that he can't see, but he thinks he can see the entire circle. It's like, it's obvious what's going on here. These people have been allowed to be able to picture, like I keep saying this, the idea of where proof is within the mathematical realm, within the divided line. That area is where proofs are. It also is where circles and triangles exist within a mathematical realm. They all exist within the same place. So when he says circle, when you hear the word circle, that picture that you've got of a circle, that's in your mind. Same for Scott. Same for anybody. But what the idea is trying to portray an argument within rhetoric to the people that are, you know, in earshot, the ones that are listening to it. Scott's just repeating that. Shadow Giant he's elevating himself to Shadow Giant status, but he says he doesn't want to be Shadow Giant for anybody else. He's just his own Shadow Giant, but he's trying to justify it. And everybody that's listening to it in this sophists playground over in the politics server there, what do you reckon? Like, are we taking this circle off the table? Because don't forget, a circle is a Euclidean shape, right? When you imagine it in that mathematical realm, that circle, that's a Euclidean circle. Pi governs it within the ratio of the diameter to the circumference. You can't move away from that circle, but Scott has. In his mind, Scott thinks of a circle differently.
Yes, he destroyed the circle and he created on its place. He created a spherical cup. So in fact, he was talking about spherical cup, but first he named it as a circle.
Mm-hmm.
But it turned during conversation. It turned into spherical cup.
And this is his bit now. He's got to fight for the circle that is a chord, right? It's a chord circle, which he's trying to imagine. It's interesting because this is going to be part of, well, I'd say this is part of the geometric argument, that there's going to be a lot more of these sort of things. And I'm not too sure whether they're going to be able to try and attempt to take them on as arguments, or whether they're just going to sort of shift us out and say, like Nathan Oakley does and all of that, that's not an argument. Like, leave us alone with our circles that aren't really circles. I don't know how it's going to work for this, but these arguments aren't going to go away. And these rebuttals to arguments. And don't forget, this started out as a rebuttal to QE's BS, which did state about this measured distance to the horizon. And like, how do you know it's a circle without a measurement of a constant radius or a constant diameter through a center point? You can't say circle without knowing that it is a constant radius, because whenever you say it, people hear it and they automatically have a picture of a circle in their mind. Can't get rid of that. So Scott either has to convince people now that the circle's somehow slightly different than the circle, or he's going to have to try and put another picture in your mind, or he'll just leave and walk away like he's not around anymore.
You never heard it from anybody. You didn't need anybody to tell you. So at some point somewhere in your life, you had this epiphany.
I can conceptualize.
So you went out and you verified what you looked at when you turned around on the ocean. And you said that verified the epiphany you had.
No, it's no epiphany. I just have the ability to conceptualize things. I would
Yeah,
hope you all would too, but apparently not.
That's when people bring out the unicorns, usually, about, conceiving of unicorns, stuff like that.
What are we talking about?
Imagination we're talking about. Imagination.
Well, it's Scott's mind circles.
We've run out of coal.
The circles that you find are the windmills in your mind.
Yeah. You just imagine yourself at a position where everywhere you point is south, and then you put both arms out and turn, just go round. There you go, circles in your mind.
I got you, I understand that.
It has to be. It's the only way that could happen.
Dude, who is that? Is a ball flat? Who asked that?
Is Mars flat?
Oh, was Mars flat? Oh, no idea.
Oh, here comes thought police.
There we go.
Well, the water in a pool is definitely horizontal.
Are we special?
The water in a pool is definitely
Here's my question. So you guys say that Antarctica, right, is the border?
No, we weren't talking about Antarctica.
No,
I'm just saying.
Scott, do you imagine that Antarctica is the border of your circle?
Yeah, Scott left.
Oh, is he gone?
Yeah.
Oh, what?
Oh, we're getting somewhere. That was very good.
I believe that the moon is a spaceship that orbits Earth.
Is there no other? Was he? Which model did he have? Was he? He was a globe Earth, like a dogmatic globe Earth, right?
Absolutely.
What are they doing talking about circles?
Wait. So I got a question for you. What is your main theory behind the flat Earth? What is your main argument? Because I want to understand this argument you guys have. With the flat Earth.
What do you mean?
If it's flat,
there's no arguments for the flat Earth, mate, because it's not flat.
Hey.
Okay. That was a slight bit of the conversation that we had this morning. I had to go out. I had to go shopping with my dad, so I had to leave. We go through those sort of conversations all the time. Circles in your mind, yeah. It's Blue. Did Blue Marble type something? Good to hear you. See you, Blue. Part of the Boomer squad. You're obsessed with us, aren't you? Never mind, Blue. What do you say? I still can't figure out what a circle is, huh? No, we know what a circle is, Blue. We've just gone over it with a guy who imagined circles to be different. He didn't even have all of the perpendiculars parallel to a circle. That was the first giveaway, Blue. So yeah, we know what a circle is. It's a geometric shape, isn't it, Blue? I know, because Blue's in favour of the circle that Scott was imagining. The 2D circle. That's right, isn't it, Blue? Spherical pie. And all of that. Just try Google spherical pie. You'll get Blue Marble videos. He's at the forefront of globe geometry. Nice of you to comment though, Blue. Thank you very much for joining in. I was told I was welcome over at your Discord server as well by a dogmatician. Is that right? Am I really welcome any time over at the Blue Marble? He just said over at BMS, so I presumed that he was talking about your thing, or he might have set up another place on his own called BMS. I don't know whether he's going to come back. I think it's got that. Oh, I'll put this back here. Might listen to that one. Away. Finished. Let's get back onto the Discord. Okay, right, we're back in the Discord, and I see Darren's come back. I think Darren was one of the globe geometers, along with Blue Marble Science. Who else did they have? It was Fight the Flat Earth that started it all off, but I mean, I don't think they trust Blue Marble Science, and Darren trusts Fight the Flat Earth to take on a geometric globe argument. I mean, we'll just use the Euclidean reality geometry and pit it up against the globe geometers and their circles. They do have a very strange idea of a circle. Yeah, there's no proof. Right, and here's another one as well. I don't know whether Nathan Oakley's been talking about this, but I'm going to post a thing here in the Discord. Nathan Oakley put a video out. Is it Monday? I lose track of days. If it's Monday, then over the weekend he put a short clip out, and I clipped that to get this bit here now. Underneath it, I've left a comment. You might notice this on Nathan Oakley's channel. I don't know what it was called. I don't know whether it's up there. I put, you can prove it's flat, question. Something tells me you'll run like Flatsoid from actually showing this flat earth proof. Here's a statement I'll make, and this is me now speaking it as I would, and I spoke it to Nathan Oakley, right? You, Nathan Oakley, cannot prove a flat earth. Right, that's a statement I'm willing to make. So Nathan Oakley now has a challenge. Prove me wrong. I said, you've said that in a video that you can. Prove me wrong. So now it comes down to it. Nathan Oakley said it, and I'm going to play it here now so you can hear what Nathan Oakley states.
Now that would make him think. Me, I don't give a toss about making this idiot think. I can prove it's flat. Why do I need to cog his brains going?
There you go. He doesn't want to help people think. He doesn't want to make people think. He can prove it's flat. Why would he need to cog his brains going? I mean, why would anybody need to cog his brains going? So if you want to see a clip of Nathan Oakley stating he can prove it's flat, I'll play it again. Listen to it. This is Nathan Oakley, flat earther.
Now that would make him think. Me, I don't give a toss about making this idiot think. I can prove it's flat. Why do I need to cog his brains going?
There you go. Nathan Oakley. He can prove it's flat. And I'm saying, don't think he can.
If he could, he would already do that. So,
yeah.
But he didn't yet. So.
Well, I mean, why would he need to cog his brains going? Why would he want to help idiots think? Because he can prove it's flat, which he can't. It's like contradiction after contradiction. It's a shame that flat earthers have to deal with this. First off, QE hands over a fallacious argument, and which is like a really badly formed argument. He didn't mind the P's and Q's. It fails at so many things, this particular argument. But so he hands that to flat earthers. So flat earthers then repeat it for 5 years, whilst Nathan Oakley and QE, for the first 2 years at least, had this as a proof. They then give it up for a new sextant argument that is even worse, really. But, I mean, forget about that. We're talking about this Modus Tollens one. The sextant one doesn't even come with an argument. This is a fallacious Modus Tollens that's still getting repeated to this day. So we're still talking. This morning it was. This very day, this conversation. So he's been QE's handed them a really bad argument, which they have to repeat. Obviously, you can't get anywhere with a fallacious argument, but they're still repeating it as though it is an argument. And then you've got people like Nathan Oakley stating that he can prove it's flat. He doesn't want to make people think, or why do you make anybody's cog their brains going or whatever? But Nathan Oakley can prove it's flat, so it's about time he did. He's a flat earther. He's the most prominent flat earther. And he's being challenged now with the Flat Earth Church. I don't know how Nathan's going to compete unless he's going to, go behind a paywall for his flat earth proof. I mean, would you pay to hear Nathan's flat earth proofs? He said his reply underneath that was that he's got an open door policy. So I don't know whether that was an invite for me to go in and ask him, about his proof of flat earth. Which I think I might do tomorrow, actually. I might just pop in, take him up on his offer for his open door. Even though I did say that, I couldn't see any purpose for me going back there. But now that he's stated that he does have a proof of flat earth, that I thought I might go over there and do it. What do you think?
Might be worth a while.
Yeah, because they have said that, I wouldn't go back over there because, he was not very nice, was he?
Yes, it is, let's say, already involved in his behavior. So
yeah, I'll
he's
point
not nice
out
to
to Blue
opponents.
in the chat. Blue, I claim level is horizontal because it has supporting arguments and tests. It's not just a statement. There's all sorts of backing that we have for level being horizontal. I don't know whether you've actually heard any of it or whether you just blank it all out, Blue. But yeah, we do have a lot of, call it evidence if you want, but we've got arguments, we've got proof, we've got loads of things.
How can level being horizontal be dumb? I mean,
yeah.
How's that possible? I mean, it sounds dumb to say it's dumb. But I can't see how anybody can say that, that's a dumb thing.
It's his model affliction.
Millions of people are using those principles day in, day out to make things and construct things. But all of a sudden, it's just not true anymore.
Going to be making the guys do some canal posting in a bit. Darren's really hot for this sort of stuff. So we've got Darren and Blue. And where's that other guy? Didn't they have a new guy on the team? What's he called? Scholar Sauce. Is that the guy? What about him? What about him? Is he not part of the team? I think somebody's told him to not bother posting over here. Might have been Blue Marble, actually. Because Blue Marble wants an exclusive. He wants to be the only one. The only surviving Blue Marble scientist allowed to post over here by order is Blue Marble Science.
I mean, he could have come, Scholar Source, couldn't he? Could have come personally.
I did say that, but there was a load of people poisoning the well, telling him that we're things that we're not, just to stop him from coming over here. But I can imagine it'd be embarrassing, right? Not a lot of people can have the ability to talk openly on a live thing. They need to do it and record it, clip all of the bits that they get wrong out.
Yeah. Sort of edit the video so it flows for them, that kind of thing. So it sounds, it kind of sounded, towards the end, it kind of edited it to make it sound like nobody here knew what they were talking about. It was quite a little trick there.
They only hear what they want to hear. They blank out the other bits. We call it ECV. When it gets too real, you can just veil it.
What's that? ECV? What does that stand for?
Existential cognitive veiling.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When it becomes real, it becomes too real. Existential part. The mind, the cognitive part, veils whatever they've just heard, seen, or whatever. I have first-hand experience of this sort of stuff. The more traumatic, the better the mind has an ability to do this sort of thing. So I'm guessing if you build your entire paracosm around something, if that something at the core of that understanding is exposed as possibly being fallacious or contradictory or whatever, then the mind...
People about things and questioning their idea or their model, and they just explode and swear and shout, and it's like that cognitive dissonance has been broken. They can't quite cope with that. Because most of those guys come with an argument or a prepared argument or their own little favorite thing, and generally they can get through without too much challenge. But if they're challenged and the ploy is seen already, then you don't play into the game, then it becomes a bit more difficult for them to just be sophisticated about it. If they do get a bit off track, then lots of people can just appear and change the subject or move along. But I mean, like that with Scott, I mean, you could very well, half an hour later, if you went away and came back half an hour later, you'd be back again, saying the same thing. Yeah.
It's a ratio, Blue. You really think it's a number? It's called pi for a reason.
It is expressed in number, but this is in fact two numbers. It is 1 to 3.14.
Well,
so two numbers.
Yeah. It's just the circumference and the diameter, isn't it? The ratio of one to the other.
Yes, one number is expressing diameter and other is expressing circumference.
Yeah, but what's known about the number is that you cannot know the number. They do know that, don't they? That's why they call it pi and not a number. I mean, if it was just 3, that'd be fine. They'd call it 3. They wouldn't need to call it pi, would they? But they have to call it pi because the actual number that it's referenced to cannot be wrote down. And they know that.
Yeah, Blue knows that. He repeated that the other day. It's 6 or 7 figures and on kind of thing, So he knows what you mean.
Yeah.
He's got to obfuscate it for the audience who probably don't understand it and then try to make it sound like you're dumb.
He puts there as well. Bev snowed it to you at Blackpool, Gord. 100 foot of drop. Well, that 100 foot would be a measured drop, an elevation change, wouldn't it? And there isn't a 100 foot elevation change between Blackpool and Southport. Blue. So I can't understand. I did not show a 100 foot elevation change of Southport, of Blackpool, from Southport. That would be ridiculous. So I don't know what you're talking about, Blue. It's really strange. I think it's because, like Scott earlier, their circle that they imagine isn't quite the same circle. It's been affected by a model. So when they say circle, this model affliction comes in and it changes it a bit. But they don't want to tell you that because the circle's still the same. They want to still call it a circle. And we've been dealing with this for quite a while now. The idea of shifting geometries that occur within the mind. That's why I titled this one Circles in the Mind. How do you picture your circles in your mind? And does that circle change whenever you imagine you're looking at the horizon? Because for some people it does. The horizon's real. The circle is geometric. When you meld the two together, something strange happens in the minds of the modern scientists, the modern blue marble scientists. That's why it gets hard to talk to people. And that's why people tell people not to bother coming and talking to us. Because this is, it's gone beyond the understanding of a circle now. Because there's an element of reality involved with it. So you have to find a way to realize Euclid. You have to find a way to link that knowledge and that you require from geometry, or that you acquire from geometry and logic, and place that into use in reality. But does that change the logic and the geometry once you place it in reality? Or has your model affliction taken part at changing them two? How good is your understanding of Euclidean geometry to know how it is used within reality? Because there's a group of people, blue marble scientists, that have so model afflicted that they want to change what you imagine a circle to be once relating it to reality.
Yeah, it's quite surprising how hard people will defend that model, the globe model. And if you ask them any questions about it, they don't really have any knowledge about it at all. They will really strongly defend something that, I just can't believe it could be anything else. There's too much evidence. Well, if you look into the evidence, then maybe you'll be able to find a contradiction or two. And
can't see contradictions, though. I think that's the part of the model afflicted mind, that they just can't see contradictions. And that's a problem within logic. If you lose the ability to see contradictions, diletheism, really.
And that isn't taught. That in education, it isn't taught to look for contradiction and critically think in that manner.
Yeah, I think the diletheism is taught. Like they have an ability, modern day, to accept the two truths. So that's why they can't see a contradiction, because they can see validity in both cases. There's no logical system to point out, how they can have a contradiction or how contradictions work through argumentation. We're in a bad way, especially within a debate arena where you've got people claiming that they have proof of things, but then don't know how to formulate an argument. And then the people that are listening to the argument, well, they can't see contradictions. So what's the use of setting up a statement that either has to be true or false if diletheist can come along and have both of them being true? Sort of gets rid of the whole purpose of a statement within logic. And you wonder why we've had problems talking to people.
Yeah.
It's not just within this arena as well, because this is like a modern day thing. where you
it works on many topics.
It's going to be everywhere, isn't it? Like, this isn't going to be just at the within this argument. It's just shown itself within this arena, and because this arena is dealing with the geometry obviously leads you to understand the logic, and then the logic can be applied to reality, which is where the complications come in within the modern mind. Yeah, it leaves us in a strange position because the arena that we came from, let's say, doesn't want this particular conversation to be going on, because it sort of relies on the fact that people are in this state of diletheism. Because it's really new, the diletheism. You're talking about 1970s, when most of the audience that we're talking to, we were born in that era. That's when this paraconsistent logic was invented. Diletheism, a way to ease the cognitive dissonance of modern day living, was placed within the education system. In the 1970s, not 2,000 years ago, not 2,500 years ago, not even 500 years ago, literally 50 years ago, within our lifetime. And look at where we are. Modern society. It's collapsing, it's crumbling.
Yeah, and it's been focused on those who are sub 30 and below, who don't have another reference point of inverted commas freedom, or to measure measure it against. So we could say, well, this is not free, this is not a logical thing to do. Or if you don't have that to measure it against, and the education hasn't taught that, then it's much easier to manipulate that group of people to accept all sorts of stories and imagine things that you can place in people's minds. Whereas for me, when they can't sell me that kind of thing and tell me it's freedom, because I've seen and lived something else, I think, well, that's not freedom. That's not logical. That's But if you can keep people out of reality, the younger children, like with digital things, and keep them focused on things that are not in reality, then it's just imagination. You can imagine anything, and like in these arguments, you bring something up, and then the keyboard will madly tap in the background as they Google some kind of explanation, and then just trot that out as the answer. Well, here's the answer. Google says. But and some of these guys in the rooms are really young. It's kind of almost all they've ever done. This is like entertainment. It's all they've ever done is just hung around in rooms and practiced some argument to feel like they were the winner, and practice their sophistry, and then influence other young minds. And this is the story. And within this arena, it feels like it's to keep people within certain parameters of an argument, and not to move outside of it. So going along like you have particularly, and questioning those things is not the done thing. That means the argument's got to move on, and fresh light is going to be shone on things, and there's just seems a really big resistance to have any of that. Just keep it here, keep it people arguing, don't ask too many questions, kind of a joint thing, hand in glove, one team with the other. And in
You
some of
keep
the
saying,
other,
you know, keep it arguing, but I mean, I think you're handing them an argument that they don't have. You're sort of allowing them to imagine that they are arguing about something. Well, I don't know where the arguments are. We've been trying to ask for anyone who's got an argument. QE came with one 5 years ago. It was fallacious. And, you know, he didn't mind his P's and Q's. Since then, there's been quite a few arguments, but I mean, they've failed again. That's why we say there is no flat earth argument, because you would end up with a proof. If you have an argument and it gets discussed and refined, you'd end up with a proof at the end of it. There's no flat earth proof, and there's no globe earth proof. Sorry, dogmatic globe earth proof. But there are proofs in reality. The strange thing is that nobody wants to talk about the nobody wants to talk about the proofs within reality. Let's get some super chats. So thank you very much, Skeptic and Gods. Skeptic says, happy holidays, Bev and crew. So I guess you guys are the crew. So welcome. Happy, holidays are going to be... I think I'm going to be streaming every day, really. I'll stick to the usual script. Other than, you know, the weekends or whatever. But it's Model Affliction Monday on Christmas, isn't it? Have a Christmas Model Affliction Monday session. So there'll be hardly anybody watching, but I'm still going to be here doing this. Thank you very much. And then Godzilla says, you too, Skep. So, happy holidays to everybody. I guess we're coming up to the final run for Christmas. People will be starting their holidays, so everybody will be off, ready for talking about stuff. Yeah, I don't know where we've always attempted to talk about the arguments and the proofs and all of that from reality, but every time we do, it seems like we stop the conversation. It's like nobody ever wants to talk about that, and I don't know whether that's what we're doing here. Like, is the circle of the horizon argument or whatever, are they going to stop talking about that? Are we taking another argument off the table? And what are they going to be left with? Because it's all an optics game. Everybody just wants you to look at something in the distance. Measure with your eyes or something, you know, an optical thing. Yet they want to use the geometric terms. But they're not really talking about the geometric terms. They're just imagining geometric shapes made with their eyes. The mind circles. It is 2023. I think I'm going to start changing up for 2024. Time for us to get serious. The On The Level team, if you want to be part of it, come on into the Discord. That's where it's going to be at. You might be able to get somebody to wish you happy holidays, like Skeptic. Be part of the crew. Not so sure I'm happy with that. Are you happy being part of a crew? Doesn't sound right. We're all individuals here. That's the way we work at On The Level. We're just all on the level. Come in, be honest. Anyone can do it.
That is the good thing about the here. There's nobody squashing. You're not one person squashing the others into line and holding the truth. One person holding a version of truth, and the others must toe the line. That's tends to be what happens in other places that I go and see and listen to. You've got to conform to the rules of that group, or the one with the loudest voice, or the celebrity in the corner, Whereas here it's not. It's nice that people can discuss things and learn new things, see through their own contradictions, and that's a good thing.
Yeah, there's no preachers. We don't have any.
No.
We don't have any
No,
flat
there's a lot
Earth
to
or
learn.
globe Earth preachers.
No, there's a lot to learn. It's amazing when the light goes on in your head on just some simple things, and your day feels much brighter and lighter because of it. Just something you never even expected it would come from. Yeah, very good moments.
It's good, isn't it? Just that conversation with I wouldn't say like-minded people, but with people who can challenge you, right? Being challenged within your own thoughts, because sometimes you end up challenging yourself. You have to come back for to get a grip on it again, because your mind's off on its own, and that is a good thing.
Yeah.
So come on into the Discord. If you've got a PC or an Xbox or anything you do gaming, come and join the Arc server. We'll be running that for a fair few months, probably years, until Arc 2 comes out. So if you fancy getting into that, starting the conversation, getting used to talking to people. I mean, like I say, we do go out to other places, and I'm going to go over to Nathan Oakley's tomorrow, although they'll probably put up all the defences. Let Nathan know. He invited me round. We'll go and find some flat Earth proof. Is Darren still going? There's some talented geometers and, engineers, mechanics, like just tinkerers, people who solve problems in all sorts of different ways. There's a lot of those sort of people around here. We seem to gather that. And I'd have to say that I don't think any of us are similar, really. Other than our, love of gaining knowledge, the wisdom, the gaining of that sort of stuff. Most of us. Tommy, yeah, some of the best arguments I've ever had have been with myself. Well, that's the beauty of the argument. It doesn't really need other people, but you want to try a bit of the rhetoric to go along with it. Really test the arguments. See how well your arguments fare when presented to someone. Because I think what a lot of the stuff you get round here is people, they don't give credit to a good argument. They always want to imagine that you have to rebut any argument, even if it is a modus ponens. It's quite hard to rebut a modus ponens, but some people imagine that they have to anyway because of model affliction. And it is model affliction Monday. And I think most people are afflicted by a model of one kind or another. Because when you come down to it, this model is how you gain knowledge. That's the main model that we're talking about here. And the affliction comes in when something stops that knowledge from being gained about something that's obviously true. Well, I say obviously true. Some people make an argument against that. there are no truths. Perhaps there's two truths. Perhaps the false is also a truth to some people. Broken minds, we say. Oh, sextant. Is Darren like 10th man? Is he a student of 10th man coming in with vertical sextant angles? Right, what time is it? How are we doing for time? 3 hours? That wasn't that bad. I thought it'd take a lot longer. It's only 11 o'clock.
Yeah, I'm always blown away by the chat and the knowledge that is there amongst the people who are here. There's always something new to learn, and little lights that go on in your head and things that you go off searching and think, what do they mean by that term? What does, to be able to understand these arguments a bit more, or some of the geometry. And yeah, I mean, there's some very clever people here, I must say. Very clever. Yeah, knowledgeable people.
Yeah, we're like freestyle street philosophers.
Yeah.
And I think everybody has a touch of that in them too. It just needs to be encouraged.
Yeah.
But normally some people think it's frustrating to talk to us. But I mean, I think sometimes it's frustrating to listen to the conversations that really they're nonsense. I think that's why Tommy thinks, it's best to argue with yourself, because then you always do win. You can always come out the winner, even when you're wrong.
Yeah, it's a humbling thing to accept you're wrong. That can be a difficult path. To accept, acknowledge that you're not correct, and be willing to be corrected, and it's a journey in itself.
But that is what we don't stress enough here is that most of these things, most people hold within epoche, right? It's suspend judgment whenever dogma arises, right? If you see dogma, then you don't have to judge upon that. So you can't really be wrong if you've never taken a side within this dogmatic belief. If you know it's dogma, then you don't have to choose a side to be wrong about. You can just admit that it's dogma. Nobody has proof. So how can you side to be wrong? And I think that's the part that gets missed, is that there is an option, right? You don't have to choose. If you know it's a false dichotomy, then knowing that it's a false dichotomy is a point that you can then go to. You can go to epoche then. If you spot the contradiction, you can know that one of them has to be false. But if you cannot put your proof in either or, then you can just go to epoche. It's the third choice. The choice of knowing it's a false dichotomy or it's a contradiction. May sound a little bit tricky, but I think most people will get there eventually, because epohe is the natural state of it's the only way for you to get to ataraxia, which I would call serenity. It's a hard word with with these words, what you would call it, but ataraxia is the state of mind of being at peace, if you will. The best place to be in order to think about things clearly. And yeah, you get there through taking this epohe, knowing that some things you cannot know, and being at peace with that. I think it's going to be I think we're going to be more really a self-help sort of group. Because this is going to be ridiculous in these times to come. You think about the state of people's minds that they're in. There's going to become a time when, just stating these arguments are going to be offensive to people. I mean, people are already getting angry, shouting about stuff, about arguments that we've been saying for 5 years. Yeah, epohe. Snowed it to you at Blackpool. God, 100 foot of drop. 100 foot? Just say epohe. What's the problems? Drift away.
Yeah. I was just reading about ataraxia because I'd never heard the word before, and so thank you.
It's good, isn't it? It gives you a purpose. Yeah. And we found all of these words. They're normally Buster that comes along with these, but like once you start looking into epohe, and that it sort of flows in a, it takes you on a journey.
Yeah, I mean it's different nomenclature for I've heard it, seen it in other philosophies, other spiritual things.
Yeah.
To have different words to describe that too. It's interesting to look at this source.
Yeah, the way I think I remember it best is it's the state of serenity that you want to be in before you're going into battle, and the old knights and all of that sort of stuff. Then
that's what it said.
Yeah.
In non-philosophical usage, ataraxia was the ideal mental state for soldiers entering battle.
Yeah, and you only get there through epohe.
Yeah.
But like these are old words, right? You wonder why have they got rid of them? Why are they not in common usage? Because, I mean, why not? Like, how do you come to a Discord server and hear a word that
Yes, exactly.
It's like so important. Like that why aren't we all trying to get there? I mean, I know we're not going into battle and all of that, but I mean, doesn't it have a greater significance? Yeah. We are going to be in these times to come, aren't we?
Yeah. I mean, we are for sure. Even if they're on this mental level, in these rooms, you're not physically battling with somebody, but some of the places I've been listening to in the last few days is, wow, it's just, I find it incredibly worrying.
Yeah, the dark places, aren't they? Right, when you go to, and it is going to be better if you are in that state of ataraxia, right? When you're entering these places, and these places are going to be everywhere.
Yeah, it's not necessary to go there. Of course, it isn't. But for me, I kind of want to be aware of that, and in this arena, and that is in this arena. It's conversations within this arena in different rooms. So I've gone to listen. Well, what are those guys talking about over there? And some of the concepts and the ideas and the theories that just come from people that then preaching to other people who are repeating them word for word are just incredible, and they've got guns. We're in the country, we don't live in that kind of mind space. But when you're talking about broken minds and people getting lost and getting angry with the arguments, just the things that we've experienced talking to people, and they just lose it and start swearing and threatening you, and you're in a reality in reality with people who are breaking up, which I can see that's well, hopefully not, but can see that's not going that's going to increase some of the stuff that's going on and taking people away from reality. Yeah, I'm quite surprised, and the people who have a strong influence within this arena have some really, really crazy ideas.
And it seems that when we talk about it, it only tends to make things worse, which I find really strange.
Yeah, and you have got to be strong. You've got to be strong. If you're going to go and attempt to do that. I say in the 24/7, it felt like it was a bit like low. Feels a bit low level in some sense. Some of the arguments are quite simple, or some people keep with the same things, and they're not that developed or sophisticated. And some of the sophists they are quite sophisticated in the way that they do it. They've honed their art. But in some of the places, you've got to be really strong, and your argument needs to be solid and logical, because you might say something and then you're taking on 10 people with some really deep information that just rolls out of them, that's connected to all sorts of sources that they can flood you with, and you can lose your footing and feel like you're not you're really no longer sure about what you think anymore, and get lost. Not for the faint-hearted, I don't think, but yeah, from illogical arguments and just people, I don't know, it's ego, it's
just conversing with people, isn't it?
Yeah. And now the link with the scriptural stuff, the biblical stuff, where there's wide interpretation about all sorts of things, and blind faith, that people hear something, they hear somebody interpret something and sounds good, they're good at preaching it, and people will take it on. and just
well, like a good analogy though, right? When done properly, it can be done well. And I know that the Bible does have plenty of stories to be able to tell, right? But it depends how you look at them and how they're presented also. I think what's happening at the minute is there's a group of people that are trying to expand flat Earth into that church area.
Yeah, definitely.
And I don't know, it doesn't sit right with me. But I'm not religious, so But it still does. I consider it gives me chance to be able to communicate with people now that I didn't have chance to before. I can communicate with people of religion to see, how this Church of the Flat Earth fits within religion, because I think it's divisive. It always has been. You're trying to talk about reality, but you're trying to talk about reality to a group of people that have strange understanding of reality. They're model afflicted, so their view of reality, I'd say it's not actually afflicted within the view, because I don't know about that. It's within the arguments and the bickering that's been set up within the initiation of people coming into this arena. Because there's a lot of ridiculers start, when people come in and imagine that, they get told that they're flat earthers, and that's meant to make you feel ashamed or something, because there's a group of flat earthers that some of them will then say something ridiculous, and you'll get associated to that. It's hard work, but I mean, it works both ways, because the Globe guys also do something even more ridiculous. Like, they can't see contradictions to me, that's even worse than just some flat earther saying something ridiculous. The Globe guys that can't see contradictions when they're pointing them out. So the entire arena's a bit of a joke, really. And then the modern day people that we see, well, they're just trolls.
Yeah.
They've got no other interest other than just to troll. Now, I don't know whether that's like an epoche type thing, and they don't know how to deal with it. But they just have to try to rebut arguments with, I don't know. They also state ridiculous things on the flat earth and the globe earth side. It's really weird. The false dichotomy is going to be the way to go, I think. But in order to do that, what you have to do is talk about reality without talking about either of these other models. But you'll always find somebody who's triggered about it and wanting to inject one of these two models into any conversation.
Yeah, I should have said bickering instead of the arguments. Earlier, I meant the bickering, because you're right. They're arguing over no argument, just bickering over stuff. It's the rite of passage and the way that you're taught within the arena. As you hear things, if you sit and listen, you hear a certain way that people talk to each other, certain things you can say and you can't say, certain language. You learn it over some time. You don't say certain things. You don't put certain words together, if that triggers people or that keeps the model in the right lane, And if you have an independent thought that isn't along with the official narrative, then you'll get ridiculed and squashed or deleted, or just mute you or throw you out of the room, or get you taken on 10 people. I'd say you're being disrespectful. It's not free speech. You mustn't be careful not to trigger the mods, kind of thing. And it keeps it in this, just within these lanes. And then there are those who is interest in it. People who find, oh well, I can be somebody here, and they gather people around them that just get attracted to them and just want to sit at their knee, kind of thing, and nod and look for approval. And then there's money, power, that's also involved in those kind of situations. There's quite a distorted thing, and as you say, when you try and go in with some to try and move the argument on, to get further on because it's stagnant, or you come up with something new, and it can be very difficult to challenge somebody. There's some big faces in who they're difficult to challenge. You do need a good argument. You need to know what where you stand to be able to deal with that.
Yeah, I think I'll put one of the conversations out again tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, I'm listening back to him today. I think, oh God, that went on and on. Because when you're involved in it, it's a bit of a chess game, like you said, but you listen back and think, oh, we went on about that circle for a long time.
Yeah.
It may seem a bit boring, but yeah, these some are a bit more developed. But
he said circle for an hour, and then at the end
yes.
he had to drop the circle. He didn't realize that. The circle he requires or he needed had spherical pi. Like it wasn't the same circle that had the normal pi ratio, right?
But he said that right in the beginning. He needed us to agree that we saw a circle in order to go to the next place that he could make the next claim. And then because we didn't play along with it, he couldn't move on to his next part of his. He got lost at the end because he had to then start bringing it out that he was higher. There was a curve. There was a chord. It was a much more developed circle, but he had it already in his head. He's just got it there, and he needs to develop that and just push that into the narrative a bit further along, and thinks that he can get to a place where he can go, see, there you go. Now what are you going to do? Checkmate kind of thing, which is successful with some people. Okay, if they haven't heard it before and worked out, the contradictions and have more sound logic.
Yeah, Tommy's put, what's the difference between an argument and a good old bickering? Well, you'd have to go back to the Monty Python sketch, wouldn't you?
Yeah. That's a 5-minute argument you want?
Structured, yeah. It's a structured...
Yes, or a 1-minute argument. Yeah.
Structured statements which come to a conclusion, right? Not bickering, naysaying, or anything like that. It's literally just making an argument. That's what they've done, right? Well, I'd say Nathan Oakley's, he's over 2,000 shows, right? And it's called Flat Earth Debate. Now, it's not a debate. There's never been a debate there, right? There's never a structured debate where somebody brings one argument, somebody brings another argument, and then you get chance to rebut the arguments to have this debate about these points or whatever. That's never happened. So all they've ended up doing is changing the structure of a debate. If you put flat earth in front of it, you can just bicker and shout at people and tell people they're morons and, call people names. That's it. That's what a flat earth debate is turned into. So nobody actually knows what an argument is within this arena. I think that's why we're separate from it, because we're not bothered about the bickering. It just gets you nowhere. Circular arguments, round and round in circles. Whereas with an argument, a structured argument, you get chance with the back and forwards. The rebuttal, the conversation. Being challenged. Being challenged just to make the argument in the first place. It does sound really easy when you hear somebody, when you hear an argument being made, you think, well, that's simple. How can you state that? But that's what arguments are. But structuring one yourself, a little bit trickier. You have to put a fair bit of thought into it.
Yes, you do. But that act of those, debating and having arguments, that you learn those forms, learn, better logic and think, yeah, I got in a hole there. I didn't have an answer for that. And, makes you think, and you have to restructure your thoughts and try again, Yeah, rather than just being bashed on the head and ridiculed and sent off to the corner. It used to be an art form, didn't it? You know, rhetoric and logic and
sophistry.
Yeah. Yeah, it isn't necessarily the subject for me. It's it's the it's interest in the philosophy and the psychology of it.
For yourself as well, right? Because that's what you're trying to do.
Very much.
You're not trying to do it for anybody else. You're only trying to do it for yourself. And you're the one that's going to gain from this, not us. You come into this for yourself, and I think there's a lot, like Buster says. We're all looking for the truth. And now what you find for the truth, that's yours. You can't try and take somebody's truth away from them, because you don't know what they've got to and gone through to get there. The particular journey that everybody's been on is to find the truth. Which I find funny. We've been talking about it. This new dropping flat Earth and becoming the true Earth. Well, in order to end up with the truth, you have to formulate an argument. And I mean, it's all right acquiring that truth, but you should be able to repeat the argument that got you there. At least. And if you can't do that, then either you've got really bad rhetoric, or perhaps you don't have that truth to start off with. And then starting to dictate who do you think people should be able to talk to discuss these things. Well,
by the way, people have sometimes a strange meaning of truth. So many people think that if they have strong conviction about something, it is truth. This is not true, because conviction is not true, but many people hold that position, that if they have strong conviction or strong faith, it is true. For them, it is subjective, and this conviction makes it true. The stronger conviction, the better truth. It doesn't work that way in logic. That's why some people are very nervous when you are by using counter argument, you are dismissing their truth, what they hold as truth, and it is unpleasant for them. I understand that. This is psychological part of refuting someone's convictions or beliefs. But argument is about
just about statements, isn't it?
Objective logic, objective truth. Sorry.
Yes,
so it doesn't matter.
Statements. You're not actually making any personal things about the person. You're just making statements to be discussed upon within the argument. It seems like it's because of this bickering and name calling, it's taken it to a different place. It's just shifted what people imagine a debate is, with a structured argument in turning into a discussion, which is not wanting to sound big-headed or anything, but we do that here. We have conversations. We don't always agree. In fact, we hardly ever agree, but we can discuss it. We can discuss these things. We can go off and have moments where you come to a clarity, and then you can bring that back again. That's the sort of discussion that occurs within call it the symposium now.
And this is good because, for example, for me, this is it goes that way, that if I don't understand something, or I disagree with something, I have to think about it. And that's the part which I like the most, because these conversations, they are forcing me to think, because I have problem, for example, with the contradictions, with the counter arguments, etc. I am willing to resolve these problems, but in order to do that, I have to think, not with conversation, but just alone. I have to think it over, and then I'm just thinking, and I am learning to think. I'm developing my thinking. That's, I think, the most fruitful part from that kind of conversations. I hope.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I think a lot of the bickering comes from being put in that uncomfortable position you described, you know, of being challenged about, you know, your thoughts. And, you know, you have to kind of have some kind of discipline. You have to develop this discipline within yourself to be able to accept that, and not to either kick out and fight about it or run away and don't want to engage anymore. And like you say, when you get to that place where it makes you think and grow, you know, that's the beauty of these things. That is the beautiful part, really. But, you know, it can be a difficult process, or uncomfortable process sometimes, you know, until you accept that it's okay to be wrong about some things. I mean, I know in my life I can be quite forceful in talking about things that can be a bit overwhelming for some people, I'm sure. And I have to be aware of that in myself. But I do enjoy that, the same as you, Paper. I do enjoy that, going away. I'm waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning thinking about water levels and deep in thought, and had some really crazy dreams last night, you know, with Bev and a minibus, and I'm thinking, wow, what's going on, you know? Some really deep stuff's, you know, coming along, which is really exciting, that I never went looking for. It's not something I would have sought out specifically, you know, to be looking at the things I'm looking at in my life now. I wouldn't have thought that I needed to look at Euclid ever. That was just an amazing kind of thing.
Yeah, it took me, I would say, about a year to realise the true beauty of Euclid. You know, like once you go to the first principles and realise that it's just a logical work of art. It's a axiomatic, self-contained axiomatic system that can tell you everything you need to know about mathematics and geometry. From starting with nothing really, a point. And the ability of like you to mark another point and say the relationship of that point to that point.
And I would say that advantage of geometry above, for example, algebra is that if you have numbers and these equations, you really cannot just draw it. But in geometry, everything you can prove, you can draw it. You can see that. So you can somehow bring to existence your thought, and you can express that in the picture. So it is not just abstraction without any connection to reality. You can create image of your thoughts on piece of paper. So we only not only understand the proofs in Euclid, we can see them by means of drawing. So that's, I think it is advantage of geometry above algebra, because numbers are just abstractions itself. If they are not linked to concrete things, you can be lost in that equations. But in geometry, if something is maybe too abstractive at first glance, you can draw it.
You do have primes and squares, and like there is a geometric link to these square roots and stuff like that, right?
Yes, yes. But you can understand what square root is in geometry.
Yeah.
But if you are talking about,
well, there's
for
primes
example,
as well within, like Euclid's Elements isn't just geometry, right? There is number involved in it too within the primes, and so it's logic, and logic also derives the number form too. Yeah, I mean, you can't really separate them. I think that's that's the beauty that you realize within Euclid, that it is a logical work of art, because there's so much that's contained within it. It does have the number, although geometry doesn't have number involved. There is the primes. Now, what then you have to realize is, how's the prime related to is it related to logic, geometry, or number? And then you're asking yourself, well, what's number? How do you relate it? And wow, just blows your mind then. But then you start to realize the trivium and to the quadrivium and the link to the number, to be able to reference these sort of things. I think that's where number comes in. For the distance, like the unit. Because the one, the unit is dictated through the logic and the geometry. And then obviously once you have the unit, you can derive it to whatever base you want. But you have to have the reference, the unit, to govern that, and that would be geometrically would be considered the unit circle, wouldn't it? That's why it's so important within the foundations of mathematics, just within that. Because you wouldn't have pi being a number if you had the one, because there's a relationship. So you've got to have that understanding to get to the 3 point whatever. Yeah, I think that 2024 is going to be the meta for this sort of stuff, because people have been dismissing us for doing whatever reasons, and they're always going to do that. But yeah, this is a lot more interesting, and I don't particularly care how many people are going to come along with us, but that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be talking about, well, it's never ending, really, isn't it? People have been trying to keep us away from all of this sort of stuff by keeping us involved in sort of a circular argument that you need to be able to release yourself from. And, you know, they're never going to let us leave. So we've taken it on that we found a way to grow from within this anyway. And it's still a personal growth. That's all everybody's after, I think. Come here looking for the truth. Well, I can't say that we can give you the truth. You'll have to find that for yourself. But we can definitely give you some tools that'll help you in your search for it. And a little bit of wisdom and knowledge from sort of knowing the situations. But you're going to have to put yourself within those situations. You know, you can't take it from somebody else. If you like listening to it, we're going to be doing that. If you don't like listening to it, fair enough. Come in and Discord. We do this. This is only the stuff that we put on out for live, and I think I'm going to be shortening these shows a bit, to be honest. I'm going to be starting to do a few more readings and stuff and put some proper videos out. I know I keep saying that, but it involves a lot of work. Putting things together, doing these live shows has a bit of time. Obviously, we have the show time that we're doing it, and there's a bit of time planning it. But there's a lot more stuff that goes on in the background for actually making videos and stuff. But yeah, trust us, we've got loads of stuff to do. And I don't know why Darren's back, but obviously there's something going on in the background with some... I think the blue marble scientists have sent out their geometers to distract us all. Okay. Yeah, I think it's about time. I'll put conversations with tomorrow out. There's a 6-hour one. I don't know what to do about that. Yeah, they came round here. Were you here for that one?
I don't think so.
A couple of guys came round from the politics server to this server one Saturday while we were playing games.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yes, it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I put that one out.
That was
That's
kind
like
of the beginning of
sophists.
something for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was the beginning of something for me. That was enlightening. Yeah.
Yeah, to see how the sophists chase the argument.
Yeah. Yeah, and one of them particularly still hangs around, and I often go and I'm in the same room as him, and it just happens that my avatar is right next to his, and sometimes he's sandwiched between me and Saragaki, and he calls us out in the room, and we never speak to him, and he, he's trying to bait us to get involved. We just kind of sat there, and he's sort of squashed between us. It's quite amusing.
Is he still around? I've not seen. There's certain people that I haven't seen.
He was banned for a while, and he's back. Yeah, he's got 2 or 3 different names, but he's well known there. Yeah, for what he does. But yeah, only a young lad. Yeah,
yeah, the new breed of sophists, the modern sophists.
24 or something, I think he is.
Yeah,
I mean, he's quite got good vocabulary for a 24-year-old.
Yeah, they can say whatever they want, can't they?
Yeah, studied political science. I think he's studied
political science.
Yeah, war and conflict. Yeah, he's probably he's never been to a war zone, I doubt. But he's been told how it is.
Right. Okay. Right. Well, yeah, I'll put a video out tomorrow. We'll be back Wednesday, I presume, hump day. Somebody's told me that some boomers have been making videos about us. We might have to go over that at some point. Maybe Wednesday. Who knows? Yeah, the Blue Marble Science and the Blue Marble Scientists. They've got a new inductee. They've managed to coax some fella over into the Blue Marble Science Discord server, Blue Ops. I was talking to Beddy about, he wants to talk about imaginometry and, the beginnings of it and, how he only deals in logic. So I've said I'll have a chat with him. And he said, you're welcome over at BMS anytime. I'm not so sure whether he has the authority to say that sort of thing, because I got banned from Blue Marble Science Discord. So unless Beddy's made a new Discord server called BMS, maybe using the fame of the Blue Marble Science Discord YouTube channel, who knows? But I haven't had confirmation from Blue that I am welcome over there. I don't think welcome would be the word, but that's the word Beddy used. So right, getting a Buster song. Anyone? Any requests? I'll have to get those thingies on here as well. I'll have to check with Danger and all of that. We'll get some tunes on. What about Spot On? We've not had Spot On for a bit, have we? I like this one as well. Right. Thanks for joining us. Video out tomorrow. Premiere I'll put out. Don't know how long it'll be, which one it'll be. But, one of the conversations. We might even be recording another one tomorrow morning. Come along to the Politics Discord server as well. See how our travels go. And we'll see you Wednesday. Live show.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
Surveyor's life has often been fraught with hardship and danger.
Federal land we know of as the Western Territory began when Congress first established the rectangular survey system. Congress, when they started to acquire the land in the Western Territories in the 1800s, had to develop a way of settling that land. When they went out and on top of a high knoll, they established an initial point. From that initial point, they drew a direct east-west line and a direct north-south line. The north-south line was the principal meridian. From that initial point, each 6 mile square was assigned a township number, north or south from the baseline, and a range number, east or west of the principal meridian. Each of these 6 mile squares was further subdivided into 36 sections of 1 square mile each. When Congress first established the rectangular survey system.
Surveyor's life has often been fraught with hardship and danger.
Of 1 square mile each. North or south from the baseline,